Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Are they a threat to democracy? Yes. Are they going to take our rights away? Yes. Are they going to put people's lives in danger? Yes. Are they going to endanger the planet by not dealing with climate change? Yes.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
She's a genuine danger to American security.
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
We have to preserve our democracy, or speak out against lies and hate.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Have a consistent narrative about how dangerous Trump is.
President Biden has been clear-eyed about the threat that the former president represents to our democracy.
Donald Trump is an existential threat to our democracy and our most fundamental freedoms.
Kamala needs to stop saying that President Trump is a threat to democracy. It's now being received by some unhinged people as a call to action. Enough is enough.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Table of Titans. It is Thursday again, and shots fired. We're a man down tonight. No Rdoc, but we do got Tron and Space Shot with us. We got lots to cover. We got domestic things. The Supreme Court seems like everybody's lining up to reorder their voting tallies in their states and get rid of some of the Democrat ones. We got Big Bus coming over from the Kash Patel and the group out there. Some weird Breaking Bad stuff going on out there from some Chinese people that I ran into. I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. Plus all the crazy stuff that's happening. We got kings, we got no kings, we got bees for lunch. We got so much to cover. Tron, what is going on, my friend?
Boom time, everything happening at once. What an amazing week. And I'll tell you what, Patriots, this is all coming to the head. You can feel it. You can taste it. It's in the air. It's palatable. It's there. And we're going to paint the picture, baby. Again, DJT, remnants of July 13th from last time.
Wow.
And this is how we know that we're over the target, dude. We have enemies. Yes, that is true. But we also have the armor of God. And that is the most important, Patriots. We have 2.5 years of boss. Diamonds might be returned for a fourth time. We can't expect that. So we have to hit the ground running and always keep our eye on the prize. And most importantly, DJT is fighting for not only America, but the future of America, our children. And most importantly, we have to take this information and make sure that the enemy never infiltrates ever again. And from that intro that Hulk dropped, I mean, Patriots, we've been through so much, 8+ years, and a lot of seasoned Patriots in the chat since the beginning. Again, JFK, the torch has been passed, Reagan, and there's no coincidence. 45 years ago, Reagan, outside that same hotel room on Saturday night, we must continue to pray for our president, pray for our country, and also dig, meme, and pray, because things are getting heavy. This is the precipice. We have midterms coming up, which we cannot lose, or else we might be Gitmo bound. We just joked about that earlier. And this can go either way. But again, Patriots, eyes on the prize and have faith, be encouraged.
I call the window seat on the train ride to Gitmo or the airplane ride to Gitmo. So, Mr. Space Shot, where do you want to sit?
I want the window where the jump out window there. No, ain't gonna be none of that stuff. But yeah, this is some wild times we are living in here. How's it going out there, my fellow world patriots? Yeah, I mean, how do you follow up the energy there of Tron? But lots of craziness. I'm loving the fact that Fauci's little buddy there, Morens, is in a little bit of hot water, and there's also some emails that don't look good for Mr. Fauci. Excuse me, Senator, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. He looks like he's going to be one of those adjoining things we'll get into probably in a little bit. And my favorite of the week so far has been the SPLC. You down with SPLC? Yes. You know,
that was last week.
Yes, you know they followed us. Well, whatever it was, dude, in this last two. And the thing about Comey, too, I'm looking at that like as a kind of a, on its face, it's a weak indictment because it's, it's pictures or whatever. But I think it's going to lead to more. But Brennan, Comey, Fauci, what else am I missing here? SPLC a couple of weeks ago. All this fraud's being exposed left and right, and not really hearing much about Iran lately. Maybe because of that fake shooting. I mean, the shooting attempt the other day that had happened. I had to make that clear because when I played the video the other day that said Carolyn Levitt saying, "Wow, this is a weird video. Shots fired, shots fired," and then I put out the video of that afterwards, some people mistook that for me as far as buying the whole thing. So yeah, I don't believe that was real in any way, shape, or form. I believe that was a setup. So just to be clear for the audience, and always we gotta say a big hat tip to the mods out there. We do appreciate your help greatly, and of course a big hat tip to Country and the folks over there at Liberty Base News, formerly the Patriot News crew, where we got all this big shindig off the ground about 8.5 years ago, about 8+ years ago, we'll say for now. But yeah, lots of stuff to cover, and not enough time, not enough hours in the day, but I'm loving it. But back to you, sir.
Yeah, my 90+ tabs over here somewhere. So Windows is holding itself together as the Brave browser's trying to hold on for dear life. Just one more thin mint, one more tab, we'll be just fine. But let's get into it, because it kind of started with, I think, the Jimmy Kimmel side. I think it was a week ago that he was out there making the joke of Trump being old. And, you know, he had made that particular comment of, what was it exactly, Tron, he said that night?
That Melania was going to be an expected widow.
Yeah.
And the joke is because Boss is so old and full of dementia that he's going to, pass away soon. And that was the determination in that one. But we know what he was doing. This is his shtick. He's even mentioned how this is how he's been the whole way. Why are you surprised? And now we're calling for the FCC to pull it, just like 8647 Larry Silverstein from 9/11 back there. So again, you can be vocal. You would yell fire in a movie theater and people get hurt trying to trample out of there. That's on you. So freedom of speech, freedom of reach, we're going to figure it out. But again, like Space Shot said, Comey, this is the lead-in. We know he's super corrupt. We know about 2016. We know about Russia. And again, the humiliation tour, putting these characters out on stage for the consumer, us, we the people, to digest it. And it's going to be so much easier when the RICO comes down. It's going to be so nice when we see Obama in handcuffs. Why didn't we get the James Comey handcuff? Again, larger picture, bigger picture. Let's watch the picture being painted. And here's Carolyn Levitt. Again, a little peek behind the scenes with the red carpet. And when I saw this, I was like, no way. Like, how does this happen? Go ahead, do it, man. Run it. This is
ready to rumble, is he not?
He is ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
I love it all. And you wrote most of it, you said.
I can't take credit. In true Donald Trump fashion, the man puts his pen to the paper himself. So it's a lot of his own work.
Ready to rumble, is he not?
Well, I think this also goes with the last time that he was here at the Correspondents' Dinner, if I'm remembering right, when he gave that speech and Hillary was there and Dolan and all those guys. With that,
Al Sharpton, something like that, one of those dinners. But yeah, it was a similar fashion, and that's what it was going to be. And remember that dinner from the very beginning, calling out HRC, talking about the Haiti and the villages and whatnot. I mean, there was red pills back then, and I was looking forward to tonight as well. They're going to have to do it again, but. I mean, was Carolyn Levitt giving a little hint behind the scenes, or are we kind of crazy? I don't know. Coincidences or not, that's kind of interesting, dude. We gotta pay attention, right?
Did we get a reschedule? Is it true that they're going to do it again in 30 days?
Yeah, they don't have a date yet, but I hope they do it again. But it's going to be all different jokes because you have 30 days in between. You got to rewrite the whole thing, literally.
Well, it depends on how big the jokes are going to be. Maybe the story doesn't change on some of them. We're going to find out, but let's keep going because full-on selfies. Evidently, the gentleman got a hotel room as he took his train from Torrance, California to Washington, D.C., stayed in the hotel and was taking selfies and had written the manifesto about how weak the security was and those sort of things. They were doing the total Butler, I guess, Secret Service here at this particular event itself. No stringent things like if you ever went to a rally. I think we had more problems trying to get into a rally than this particular event here for the press. So I just find this interesting that he was ballsy enough to take pictures and then send the note back saying everything about the security and all the problems and all that. And we do got video. Video just got dropped a little bit ago. But did you guys happen to see all this with the knives and everything?
Actually, I haven't seen this actual picture yet, but yeah, the whole thing is just, it reeks too. And I had a clip I played the other day, actually, I think it was Monday show, but what are all these like latest shooters have in common? they've all been on TV recently too. Like this guy was in a 2017 thing. Yeah, and so the same thing with Routh, the guy that shot at President Trump, and there was one other guy there that also was basically, all these 3 shooters were basically put on TV ahead of time. So very interesting.
And the J6 ice skater with the Uber, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
All right, go to the tape, dude. So hotel hallway before showing him. I think this is the door that he exits out of back into this hallway and goes back down this way, I think is where the event is held at. So he spends some time in this particular gym area here, and as you're scrubbing through it, he's here, but he goes back out, walks back down the other way. So I think as we scrub forward into these events here, we get down towards the end. It's about 4 minutes into it. So this is where it picks up over here. So this is where that gym door is. And then you want to watch behind here when a gentleman walks in there, which is the shooter himself, walks through the door. There's a police officer right behind him. I might scrub it forward. See, he goes into the door right there.
Yeah, the dog.
And then there's a canine.
Yeah, the dog, the canine. That is insane that the dog follows him in there. And then he has this super Deion Sanders speed and just races past, crossfires happening. Dude, I'm telling you, this guy, what balls. And again, real or fake, guys, this is real. Boss has enemies. We have enemies. Look at that, dude.
So he's got the 12-gauge shotgun up and running. He's aimed it at this officer itself. Just some of the interesting things that I'm seeing here as he's running, because supposedly he hit probably this officer here on the upper right-hand chest area. It actually hit his cell phone, is what some people are saying, with buckshot that was in there, so he didn't have any slugs or anything like that. I don't know what the radius shot rate of that's going to be, on how big that shot is going to deflect out once it comes out from buckshot. I'm just trying to make sense of this whole thing. I mean, that's under, 6 feet? So supposedly you hit him in the chest with buckshot. I did figure to go a little bit wider, but I'm not saying that's true or not, but I don't know.
You know, it's interesting too. Ghost had noticed it. So if you kind of, let this play slowly, it's kind of deceiving, because you see, I think he makes like 6 or 8 steps from like that metal to 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like it's a little bit spread out. And my question is, why did we get the copy like it was filmed through a friggin' potato lens for, a few days, and now we get this crystal clear, days later? And very interesting.
The other one was AI. The other one was AI kind of rendered together with a bunch of videos.
Oh, really?
So here's, it came out as an eye check. So some of the video is real and some of it is actually fake, is what the little sensors were saying. So you can see he's hauling ass, gun up, he sees it. This guy's...
Like, out of all the officers here, you're right. The one that pulls the gun first with the crossfire. But man, everyone else is just kind of hanging out. And you look at them; they're taking down the magnetometers. They're taking down the security. So imagine if you just waited a half an hour for this event to kick off. There would have probably been a better opportunity. But holy cow, man, this is just insane. And this whole deal, this whole thing should have been outside. Should have been outside of the hotel, not right outside of where boss is. How are you able to enter a hotel room, Stephen Paddock style, in Las Vegas, and be able to do this? So this is just insane.
So look at this. So look, he's shooting at him. Nobody got hit, except for the officer with the buckshot. But you can see this guy's making shots, and I'm surprised none of these people actually got shot. You know what I mean? As we scrub through this. And that's, like, he shoots again right there. Look, I'm thinking that's the guy that got shot right there, but I can't say that's 100% true. He seems fine.
Money, dude.
Shots again. So Secret Service, at least 5 or 6 shots. Supposedly the assailant won, even though in the indictment they haven't charged him with shooting or anything like that. But more coming. Oh, by the way, there's your butler girl. Remember the butler girl?
Is that her?
That's her right there, dude.
Whoa, that is scary.
She had to show up.
So she's there.
Why didn't the guy trip her? Like, nobody even thought, like, maybe put my foot out and trip this guy?
Yeah, it's absolutely some of the video that's coming out. So weapons and all that stuff that he was carrying with him, 12-gauge shotgun. It's a smaller gauge is what they were saying. So it wasn't a big gauge, because it's a 30-aught or 40-aught. I can't remember which one's bigger. Anyways, he had the smaller caliber. So again, they're saying buckshot, hit cell phone, officer. How far away was that? I did from the picture of the Secret Service, not Secret Service. Does it even say it's Secret Service got shot, or was it the officer? anyways, the bulletproof vest didn't seem to like have that much damage in it. But again, they're talking about hitting cell phones and stuff like that. They're already cutting things out of the walls for bullet trajectories and all those sort of things. So I just thought it was interesting.
And also something you have to realize, this is a little bit different from the previous shootings, is because the weapons aren't like, Daniel Defense. They're not $8,000. That shotgun, I believe, is a Maverick 88, which is like $150, $200. So it's not necessarily the highest quality that he's working with.
Exactly. This is just weird and interesting. And then again, confirms confirms an agent who was shot by Allen Cole returned fire as he was falling, explains why all 5 shots missed, is what they're basically going. And then basically everybody dogpiled on top of him. So yeah, a part-time teacher living at its parents' house, because they don't have basements in California, was raided shortly thereafter. So yeah, I find this very... What's that?
I said I didn't know that. That's that's my thing learned for the day. I know Florida, most houses or all of them don't have basements. I didn't know California was the same. Is it because of the earthquakes and stuff?
I've never seen a basement in California.
Interesting. Any other states
Wait a
out
minute,
there?
are you
Put
serious?
it in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it? Hold on, are you making fake news? Basements in California?
I swear, I have never been to a house where there's a basement in the bottom of it. So.
Oh, remember that mansion we saw? I mean, that's a different thing, but they had like different levels and whatnot. But really quick, while I got the mic, why do we not have the video of where he was taken down? Like, how was he taken down? Did he end up tripping and falling? And like you said, they piled on him. Like, that's what I want to see. But of course, I don't think we're going to.
No, there's still more to that story that's going to be coming out. So this is not the end of it. But charges are interesting. So yeah, attempted assassination, lackluster support, just like the Butler Protection Group. I figured we would have learned our lesson with this, and it seems like nobody's talking about that particular failing of security, of stopping these guys with magnetometers, and people are saying, oh, we did it for the convenience of the audience, for the news people and all there. And again, we got reports after the shots rang out, people are hiding underneath the desk inside the big ballroom, and some of the reporters like, oh God, I hope they got him. Hopefully they shot that orange man. That's what people were reporting from some of the reporters that were there hiding underneath the desk. And of course, after at the Eau Claire, they're taking all the alcohol and going home with it, right?
I was going to say, was that before or after they filled their keep with a bunch of like, oh, I don't want this one. Here, let me grab this one. I mean, that's just disgusting, right? Like somebody's apparently got shot. This guy's getting arrested, and they're looking at the labels of the wine to see which ones they want to take.
Exactly. So ran by this little clip here as shots are being fired. Watch the arrow, because that's what really drew my attention. I don't know who that is. Let me bring that down. What's the first thing this guy does right here? Cell phone. Pick it up. Start recording. Would that be your first response? I know Dana White was pretty thrilled, so he's hanging out, watching the action happening and telling him to get underneath the tables or whatnot. But look at him, dude. Steady. Just going to film everything.
That's the idiot that I didn't know where the camera came from, because I saw that, and I think I played it the other day from that perspective, and I went, wait, what idiot is sitting there like, oh, the camera guy? And so I posed it, like, again, in that video, like this whole thing's a fake thing. I said, that's weird. Like, wait, how is this cameraman just not moving? But that idiot was the cameraman. And if you guys noticed, they yanked up JD really quickly. It was another 5 or 6 seconds till they got President Trump off.
Yeah, so Boss wanted to come back and redo it. And of course, lone shooter, multiple people, it's unsecure, all those things. I get that. So I'm glad he didn't come back, but hopefully they do postpone, take a rain check, and come back for it. So he'd probably have some pretty good things coming out of that. So other news coming out says Alan Cole's lawyers say he's being deprived of the ability to consult with them without being monitored ahead of Thursday's detention hearing. Read the comment above it. They shot.
Which one?
The one right here above it, right here.
J6
LOL.
defense. LOL. Laugh out loud. J6 defense attorneys had similar complaints, mostly early in the 3-year period following the riot when DOJ aggressively sought to detain defendants. The DOJ response? Quote, Your Honor, DOC is run by the District of Columbia, not DOJ. We are also captive to their policies. Interesting.
I thought that was an interesting response. So it's back to the District of Columbia and who's actually got jurisdiction. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
It's very interesting because he's kind of going with like the whole sovereign type of deal. Because here's an interesting one. You talk about legally, right? By law, legally, the state of Rhode Island actually resides in the District of Columbia, and all the states do. So if you got a ticket, if you had a judge that was on the up and up, you could tell him if he really let it go that far. I was never in D.C., so therefore I was never in Rhode Island for that ticket. But it's all weird stuff, though, but with the jurisdiction. But, like, that is a weird thing. And even President Trump said it the other day on a post. Did we read that in the show today? I think it was in the show we were on earlier on the roundtable. President Trump put out where this one country, I think it was Ireland or Scotland, could work with the, quote, Commonwealth of Kentucky. And I was like, that's weird that he didn't just say, oh, they can work with Kentucky to get some of this stuff. But he mentioned the Commonwealth of Kentucky. So I'm liking the sovereign type of talk coming back into the fold, and I hope we go that route a lot more.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting idea. What else do we got? Well, Thomas Crooks being in a BlackRock commercial, Ryan Ruth being in Associated Press B-roll. We got Cole Allen being in an ABC's news segment.
What makes a good movie, Hulk? Good producer.
Yeah.
College student Cole Allen developed a prototype.
There he is. Do you guys see this video? I'm sure you guys already seen it, but that's him.
Yep.
But don't actually lock the chair to the ground.
So even got, and we all remember these guys for the BlackRock commercials and shit like that. There's a lot more, dude. I got so much of these craps to talk about.
And it's so hard to not have conspiracy theories when they provide this kind of, content for us.
56 from the U.S.
It's just crazy.
And Ukrainian connection. Remember when he was taking photographs with congressmen and whatnot outside of D.C.?
State Department.
So many interesting connections to these characters. And also the Jake Sullivan, like I mentioned before, was in an Uber commercial he was an Uber commercial, and he was an ice skater in the Olympics somehow. Like, how does this happen, dude? Yeah.
I missed that part, dude.
Oh, yeah, he was an Uber driver. Then he became a Space Shot, something along those lines.
That was the January 6th guy that was on their side that recorded everything. And he got arrested on the night in Washington, D.C. He was the one that was, like, close to Ashley Babbitt. He's like, oh, look, gun. Like that whole thing wasn't set up, too. So, but yeah, this is crazy, bro. This whole thing is crazy right here.
Yeah, this is from the Twitter account, I guess, is what it comes to. And then the whole connection to the NASA gentleman that only tweeted his name once, like a few years ago. Yeah. I didn't really all put that together. I just thought it was weird. Did you have any background on any of that?
I got those if you want to show them, because it is super weird. Actually, here, just not trying to, promote my own.
So he was an assistant. This Alan Cole guy was an assistant to a NASA guy. Yeah, just as a little bit of time. And the gentleman with that ran that account, Henry Martinez, here is the gentleman that works for NASA. He tweeted only one tweet, Alan Cole.
Yep, that's his post right there. So if you click on that, you'll see his background. That is the one that you were just showing, or should be under his account there. So there's that picture, which, when was that thing taken? Because I think that was after 23. So he had certainly...
This is the Butler thing, yeah. So he used AI to generate this, is basically what it came to.
No. That comes from a website called the timemachine.eu. Timemachine.eu. And it also goes back to Project Deep Dream. Remember before AI, before Will Smith was eating the spaghetti, they had that Deep Dream stuff.
Exactly. That was all crazy stuff.
Yeah, Bree found that.
Bree found that for you?
Yeah, she, like, as soon as it came out, I think I might have even been one of my off days or whatever, but she got on it, like, really shortly. And I dropped you the other one. I don't think we need to. That's basically the guy that's showing that he interned at NASA, apparently. So, again, we have some more weird NASA connections. This guy only makes one post. And, again, he never really predicted anything. All he did was post a name. So, it's just weird. Okay.
Yeah, so what do they say? Secret Service. So saved by the phone. So is what they're basically coming out and saying that that's why that guy didn't get really injured, even though he had a bulletproof vest. The phone saved him. Why that needed to be included, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, there it is. What else do we got here? And Rudy Giuliani had stated this in another tweet. He had also mentioned this is the same location that Reagan was shot out in front of. Security outside the ballroom was non-existent. That just as easily as an attempted assassin ran through the hall with a shotgun and knives, he could have set off an explosive device that would have eliminated our executive branch. So that's true too. But I mean, what's your guys' thought on the lack of security there and why they didn't really?
Yeah, so real quick, it wasn't Jake Sullivan. It was John Sullivan, I believe, was a J6 guy. The other guy was an NSA advisor, I believe. So, no, the security is horrible, dude, especially after Butler, especially after the golf course. How many times do we have to, revisit and revamp the security detail? Like I said, you shouldn't have been entered any of the buildings without the metal detector on the outside. This is how we do it for, Ticketmaster. You go into the events. And this also has remnants of that last one in, what was it, in Russia? With that, what was that concert where they had something go down too? So, again, these big events, false flags, real or not, head on a swivel because, I mean, guys, the last 6-8 years, we have been a target. America has been a target. This movement has been a target. And now we have to put a stop to it. Like, how is that Mark Kelly gentleman allowed to still walk around with that rhetoric? Remember? And that was like how many months ago? So this is all adding fuel to the fire. And Comey, again, the lead-in. But this is going to get big, dude. We have to ramp it up. And maybe, I don't even know, dude. Like, we have to do what we have to do, but we can't, allow this to happen ever again.
So just a couple of the ones I found out this week here. Spacia, you want to read that for everybody?
I would love to. Breaking: an Iranian intelligence agent has been federally convicted after plotting an assassination attempt on Donald Trump in 2024. Asif Merchant was a trained Iranian regime operative and came to America in April of 24. AG Pambandi, quote, "This man landed on American soil hoping to kill President Trump. Instead, he was met with the might of American law enforcement. Never let him walk free again." Boom.
So he's indicted, charged, and convicted. So he'll go to sentencing here shortly. That's not the only one that came out. Here, read that for everybody, Mr. Space Shot.
18-year-old Nikita Kasap from Wisconsin was found guilty 3 months ago of murdering his parents to steal their money for his plan to assassinate President Trump. Oh my goodness. Dude, this is how bad this stuff has gotten. He left their bodies to rot in the house for weeks. Then he fled across the country, bought drones and explosives, wrote a manifesto, and shared his plans with others, including a Russian speaker, to kill the president and overthrow the U.S. government. Just another normal kid who was a perfect student in school that got radicalized. Wow.
Remember the video I played in the beginning here of them all being radicalized with the stuff that they're talking about in the videos here? Yeah. I mean, over and over, and it repeats, it imprints. You get the education that fed into their mind that fits this little narrative for them, and Orange Man bad, or at least somebody's going to be bad, and we're going to take it out on them. Unlike us on our side, I mean, we don't willfully want people to die. We want them to go to jail and we see justice, but we're not out there advocating for, shoot people or hang them by a tree or set them on fire or any of that. Not like what the things they're doing with Nazi stuff, right?
Dude, the funny thing is, I've talked about this one ex-coworker that I've been working on for a while. He actually sent me the picture of, like the meme where it's Joe Biden in the back of somebody's pickup truck where he's like hogtied, and it's like, haha, it's the MAGA meme of some fat dude saying, haha, this is hilarious. And then the 8647 that Comey wrote, and he's like, it's the same fat, guy with a man guy with boobs, and says, FBI help. He goes, haha, the hypocrisy is astounding. And I said, dude, wake up. I said, that was the FBI director. Whose pickup truck was that? No, I'm just saying, but yeah, like the whole thing about the anger and the violence. I'm like, show me on our side. But that's what he had for us is some, random person with a pickup truck that's doing this stuff. We're talking, politicians, the director of the FBI, and these are the people that are pushing this stuff really bad.
You should ask him, you sure that guy's not paid by the Southern Poverty Law Center?
Oh, dude, I went down that road last week, so he didn't. Hopefully he's starting to see it. I'm like, I said, at what point are you going to start waking up? I said, 3 years of being wrong every time you send me something, like you'd figure something would start to click. But
nope,
some of them are too far gone, in my opinion.
Yeah, that 10%. So we had a No Kings rally right in Congress. So let's go.
Members of Congress, I have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you His Majesty Charles III.
You notice how they're all standing and clapping, and not like this was a State of the Union and the Democrats are all sitting down. Everybody's active and up. So yeah, great stuff. Yeah, right. Oh, everybody's there.
Funny how they all clap for the actual king, but they're funding the No Kings with, what was it, like $3 billion worth of funding? Oh, hilarious.
Yeah, Hakeem Jeffries throwing that money around out there. So, Tron, we got the bell from the HMS. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, guys, we got the bell, 1944 HMS Trump. And I didn't know this until we needed to know this. I mean, this is fascinating. Symbolism, gifts, all this stuff, the old guard destruction. King Charles presents Trump with the original bell from the 1944 HMS Trump submarine as a gift at the White House state dinner. And I forget the history on it, but again, this is fantastic. And the fact that we have sausage fingers in here with the No Kings rally, we have beehives, we have Boss, kind of collecting the bees, showing his calmness and whatnot. And this is what it's all about. So whether it's Zelensky or Charles, again, the final curtain call. There we go. Submarines. We're going.
What is he talking about? Trump submarine.
That's what it was called. It's called HMS Trump, 1944. It was a British submarine, I believe. But yeah, I mean, what are the coincidences?
No shit.
Yeah, no. Just like John G. Trump didn't need to.
How the hell did he get the freaking name Trump over there in 1944?
That's what I'm saying. I'd like to know who it was in remembrance of, going back to Scottish rights, maybe. I don't know, dude. This plan might go back farther than we know.
Well, that goes back to that time traveler theory that one of the Trump girls got asked the other day. Did you see that?
No, there is no theory. Laura Trump came out and said that Barron's not a time traveler, so that's the end of that. Oh, and 9/11 was an inside job, and go-karts did not invade the border on October 7th in Israel. And remember, just like the mob guys, Godfather, she's an outsider. She's not blood. She's like the ambassador of Greece. Nothing against Laura, I love you, but she was getting massive. Yeah, they might have a breakup soon. No, but they have a massive amounts of. She has massive amounts of crumbs in that delivery, and just the fact that she throws in other conspiracy theories with the time travel one means that there is a chance, guys. Lloyd, Aspen. We're going to Aspen.
Do we play the video or we just keep going?
Nah, just keep going. We don't need to hear that.
All right, here we go.
Stuff.
Here, we'll get a little bit of his speech and see what he had to say. We'll get 30 seconds.
Here in the shadows of monuments to George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, honoring the British King.
Nice hat.
Might seem an ironic beginning to our celebration of 250 years of American independence. But in fact, no tribute could be more appropriate. Long before Americans had a nation or a constitution, we first had a culture, a character, and a creed. Before we ever proclaimed our...
So do you know what the big part of the visit for King Charles to be here hanging out? Asking Trump for what? Anybody know?
Climate change, Al Gore polar bears. I forget.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness. 250 years, dude. Give us some cash. Give us some money. Give us some reparations.
What was that, Space Shot?
He wanted to come celebrate us escaping from them. Like, what the hell?
Is it? Yeah. Well, the only thing reducing tariffs they got out there, cyber speed, is the whiskey made in Tennessee or the Scott, whatever, the Scotch drink that they make in Tennessee, competing with them over there.
Whiskey. That's not Scotch.
Yeah, whiskey or whatever. So that's about the only thing I saw. They came out very shortly thereafter. Whether it's the whole London Bank and reorders of the old guard and those types of things, we'll never know because we're not in the inside of those particular meetings. But he's all over the place. He went over to 100-year anniversary for a particular book, a kid's book that was written here, and they brought one of the stuffed animals back. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's a famous children's book. Yeah, and then he's over doing the whole national park things and all over the place, dude. So yeah, that was pretty interesting thing. So it's just not here. He's still in the States cruising, doing around. And it's the first time that Trump has allowed anybody to use the helicopter, because that's how I believe they came in or they left. I can't remember. I just happened to see it that they had allowed Prince and the entourage to use the helicopter and land on the lawn, I guess.
Prince.
King, whatever his name is.
Dude, imagine Purple Rain at the White House. Badass.
That would have been.
So ran by this. I don't know where to put this. Space Shot, you want to take a crack at this from Mr. Enoch?
Yes, this is actually a very good post. I touched on a similar topic earlier. The bees were told today, and it wasn't just a photo op. During King Charles III's White House visit, President Trump walked the royal couple straight to the newly expanded beehives in the South Lawn. Melania had just unveiled a hive shaped like the White House itself. Then a live bee landed calmly on Trump's open palm while the king and the queen watched in surprise. This wasn't random. In ancient British and Scottish tradition, especially among royal and rural families, you must formally, quote, tell the bees of any major change in the household, a death, a marriage, a new master of the house. Fail to do so and the hive may abandon you. While Queen Elizabeth passed in 2022, the royal beekeeper performed the ritual at Buckingham Palace and Clarence House. Quote, the queen is dead, long live the king. Today, Trump, a distant Scottish Stuart, cousin of the royals, publicly showed the thriving American hives to the king. In the esoteric reading, this was a modern telling the bees for the post-Elizabeth era, a symbolic handover and alignment of the two, quote, hives, the nations and societies themselves, under new stewardship. This was a very public demonstration, Trump standing tall as the one in charge and the king quietly capitulating on American soil. The bees and the world just witnessed who holds the hive now. Boom. Yep. That's what I was looking into earlier. Well, yeah, I did. I was looking into something like that earlier, and they basically said your mistress, about the queen, your mistress has passed, but your new king will be nice to you. He'll be an excellent master. So yeah, that is something that they did say, and they do in history. So he's absolutely spot on.
Yeah, I always thought it was weird when she came out with the beehive thing, looked like the White House in the front. I'm like, what are we doing? Like bee best, that type of thing. That's what I was thinking about. What was your thoughts?
Remember too that honey itself, the product. Remember, the honey is the product of the busy bees, and the honey lasts forever. There's no expiration date on that. Mm-hmm. And remember what Boss is solidifying here in the MAGA movement, that we're going to keep on going and going and going. This train never stops. It doesn't expire. And we're going to keep it going. A gift of the gods, if you will, going back to Egyptian days. But symbolism will be their downfall. We can do it just as good as them.
Cyberspeed says that bee was wearing a MAGA hat.
Dude, I was going to say, do you think that was really a bee, or like one of those little ones that we've heard for 10 years that they make these little robots? Okay, moving on.
Yeah, the real desserts served at the state dinner with King Charles, a chocolate beehive grotto with honey, vanilla custard, and an almond sponge. A true traditional celebration of honey. Thought that was interesting. This was also interesting here. Mr. Space Shot, would you like to read that up there at the top?
I would love to. The fancy china that liberals are losing their mind about, used at the White House last night for the state dinner, was bought by the Clintons.
Yeah, do you remember the china that they got custom made and paid a bunch of money for the White House, and then they stole it? And then they were asked to return it and bring it back to the White House, and plus pay the extra money, the other furniture they took? That's the stuff that they served all the guests on.
Oh, I do remember the furniture, the part of it. So that was part of this too? The freaking dishes.
Yeah, they took this stuff. This was the number one thing that they took, including everything else. So they used to, they served dinner to everybody on it.
Well, can you blame them? I mean, dude, he was, when they left office, they were damn near broke. They had to put, Chelsea through college and this, that, and the other. Remember that interview? Like, we were dead broke. It's like, oh, now we're worth billions. It's like, oh. Yeah, we know how that pay-for-play goes there, lady.
Yeah, I thought this was fake. I had to go Google it out there and let Gork do its work on there. And guess what? It's true. I was like, surprised. Okay, this is another interesting thing right here, too. I didn't know existed. Go ahead and read that.
Had I been invited to the lunch with King Charles, I would have brought along the copy of the Senate manual that he was given during his 1970 visit to the Capitol, which he must have accidentally misplaced because I found it in a used bookstore for $20. Ugh. Senate manual. So what did he say? That was a Bible, or was that a Senate manual?
It's the Senate rules.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I probably would have tossed it if I was him, too.
It says His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales.
He probably looks at it like, all right, see ya.
Yeah. I just thought it was interesting, all that stuff coming up. So that's all about the king and queen stuff. You guys want to throw anything on top of that state visit with the whole thing? And is it really the London bank and, trying to decouple ourselves with, what's happening down in obviously Iran? Because, we're offering the bounty, not the bounty, but we're offering insurance on all the ships that would go through at one time. We had offered that. We had talked about how Lloyd's of London didn't. We're very happy with that other people are funding it. But then again, this could be a downhill thing because you blow up one of those ships, it could be $500 million without blinking an eye. You know what I mean? No problem.
There's more to the eye than, was just a little cordial visit. I feel like they were doing some major talks there. And again, they are our original enemy, right? And so have they been for decades and centuries still pushing or having control in our country? And do they still have influence over it? Because a lot of people say, oh, it's Israel. And well, I'm not going to deny that as well. But I would say that England very well has a lot of push on our politicians as well here. So I think there's a lot more than was going on. And one thing I'll say I really didn't like when he was making his speech at Congress, he's like, the Queen and I. That woman is not a queen. I'm sorry. All right. She's a queen consort.
Standard.
She's a all right. I won't say it.
What else do we got? Other interesting things I ran by. I was thinking about doing this myself. Space Shot, read that for everybody.
Okie dokie. The U.S. Department of State says it is issuing a limited edition passport featuring Donald Trump. Oh, this is awesome. He's getting bridges and streets and crap named after him. And might have
why
to go
supplies last. Going to be limited. Just announced this week. So I just got mine. So I was like, dude, I want to redo it again, but it's another $130. I don't know if it's worth it. But at one time, John, you going to get one?
Now? Wow.
No, he already got me on the sneakers for $200. So yeah, he got me on the NFT and the sneakers, and I have a watch coming for Christmas. So no passport.
What color did you get, by the way, on the watch?
I got the black ones, and they were supposed to have bosses fight with the blood on the side. I got the shoes in the mail. Guess what? No blood. I was upset. It was bad. So I had to put my own on there. I had to prick my finger, do a whole thing. Had to go to Hobby Lobby. It was a whole mess, guys. But nonetheless, we have the shoes that I ordered.
Yeah, those watches look nice, by the way, dude. And they're kind of reasonably priced, by the way. I did look at them. I was like,
my son's into watches. Gaudy. What kind of watch was it, Tron?
The red one. I like the red one. The Trump watch.
Trump watch. I'll take a look.
You'd have to go look at them on there. Let's get into it. What else do we got going on over here? On April 28, 2026, 2-count federal indictment in North Carolina for allegedly threatening the president via a May 2025 Instagram post of the seashells arranged in the 8647 as what he basically comes out. Here's his response to that really quick.
Well, they're back. This time about a picture of seashells on a North Carolina beach a year ago. And this won't be the end of it. But nothing has changed with me. I'm still innocent. I'm still not afraid. And I still believe in the independent federal judiciary. So let's go. But it's really important that all of us remember this is not who we are as a country. This is not how the Department of Justice is supposed to be. And the good news is we get closer every day to restoring those values. Keep
fighting whatever he's going to end that stuff with. So I thought that was interesting. And it's very important to understand what this gentleman says here. Even though Captain Herod says conscious guilty behavior, it is thin ice type of prosecution, but
Sir, how will you prove intent when, as the director had acknowledged, Mr. Comey said he did not associate 86 with doing harm, and he took it down promptly, said it was political speech, not an intent to harm the president?
Well, it's not, this case was indicted today. This conduct occurred about a year ago, May 15th of last year. There's been a tremendous amount of investigation. And how do you prove intent in any case? You prove intent with witnesses, with documents, with the defendant himself to the extent it's appropriate. And that's how we'll improve intent in this case. And so I think that talking about what Mr. Comey will or will not do if there's a trial, when there's a trial, it's very premature for me to do that today.
So remember, this is not a charging document. This is an indictment, and you got to basically answer, which this indictment didn't come from the DOJ. Everybody's freaking out that this came out. You got to remember, they got to put forth the information. They got to go to court, have lawyers, talk to the grand jury, give testimony. The grand jury issues the indictment. Nobody else. Not the lawyers, not Kash Patel, not the head of the DOJ. They don't get to arbitrarily pick that guy. You have to go to the grand jury, and a panel of judges decides that that person is going to get charged. Everybody understand how that thing works? So I don't think this.
That is huge, because that means he's fooked, and that means that we have lead-ins. We're going to have canaries singing in a coal mine, and more is coming. And guys, the head of the FBI knows exactly what he's doing. We know that. They know that. So the way that this is handled is perfect. This is how justice is supposed to be handled. What comes next? We're going to find out.
Well, again, it's pushing prosecutions, at least in this is Virginia, I think I just said. So it might be a little bit easier than DC is what it comes basically back to.
It was Carolina on that one, Hulk. It was the Southern District of North Carolina or South Carolina, one of the Carolinas. And just, really quick, just the hypocrisy of him to even make that video and talk about how we're not this kind of country. Oh, so you don't go after your political rivals is what you're saying. Oh, okay. All right. Noted.
So here, read that space shot. This is kind of where this is coming from.
All right. Hypothetical. Jim Comey sent a text message to his book agent that reveals what he did and includes a portion that says words to the effect of, quote, imagine if someone did make another attempt to assassinate him now. That picture will go viral and book sales could go through the roof. Remember, the standard for criminality is, quote, recklessness. Interesting.
So if this document exists that they have, that they showed that he put that thing out there to drive book sales, then they're pretty much going to go after the proceeds of the book sales. And I'm not too sure about what they could charge Comey himself, but they could make sure it's going to be very, very hard for him to live through this particular system. And depending on how many people are involved in there and outside of it, because remember, he's the one that said, I was out walking on the beach with my wife and she pointed it out and I took a picture, I posted it online. Remember when he said that on Jimmy Kimmel? And I didn't really think anything about it. It's basically, they're just trying to throw it around a little bit. And I think he knew exactly what he was doing. Actually, we all know we knew what he was doing. Probably to drive the book sales that was coming out 2 days later or 4 days later.
Isn't that nice? I had forgotten about that. Money back too, right? You heard that story. We're getting all of that book money back soon. So interesting timing. And remember how many times he was called out during these books? People would stand up and yell and do their thing as we were supposed to. These people can't walk down the street. So, and how many times have we heard book deals are lucrative? Here we go, baby. That's wow, spicy.
So Lindsey Graham wanted to get onto the deal here. He put this out.
Oh God, 6947.
Do something gay.
I didn't see his little princess wand from Disney though, but yeah, he's happy.
That's pretty good. That's pretty funny.
6947. Well, it's nice that Comey took the time to still take pictures with his mother. That's sweet.
Yeah. So there somewhere. So there's a book that's coming out evidently, and the pieces of this, it has some of this story in it. It hasn't been released yet. I was cruising through putting show links together and I forgot to grab it to put it in there, and I didn't really put two to two together until now. But there's somebody else in Congress has written a book, talks about this particular situation and this effect.
That's what I was
see if it holds true.
That's what I was thinking too, that, it's thin on its face, but then again, we don't know what other emails they may have or, any communications between any of these people. So, could be bad.
Yeah, it says DOJ sources tell me the prosecutors are pursuing a forfeiture action in related James Comey allegation of felonies because they believe Comey posted 86 Trump and also helped drum up sales for the forthcoming book that came out 5 days later.
Ooh.
So, they're paying attention, guys.
Not looking good. Remember, James B. Corney. If anybody's foyering him out there, his name is not James B. Comey in most of the documents. It's James 8 Corney.
So upon conviction, the defendant shall forfeit to the United States any property, real or personal, which constitute or is derived from the proceeds traceable to the said offense. Be able to take his house. Yeah, we all know how those book deals pay off. That's a really good point too out there in chat.
MAGA Jedi used to live in the same neighborhood as him.
No,
remember MAGA Jedi, right?
Yeah. Here.
So yeah.
Here, read this one. We'll go into more of this other stuff because we had a bombshell leak coming out of the DNI that dropped a whole bunch of Clinton era stuff.
Really? Breaking. Just declassified FBI documents reveal case agents investigating the Hillary Clinton or the Clinton Foundation for bribery and money laundering saw a search warrant for Hillary aide Huma Abedin's phone and email records and 6,827 emails BT Abedin and Hillary stored on Abedin's ex-husband's laptop. But the Clinton Foundation case was closed down before agents could get their hands on the evidence. At DOS, Abedin acted as the gatekeeper. BT, foreign donors to the foundation, and Secretary of State Clinton. She was also a foundation employee. Oh, go figure. Wow.
Yeah, there's more in here. Here's another one for you. Read that one there.
Just declassified FBI DOJ Clinton Foundation documents reveal same Inspector General Michael Atkinson, who relaxed whistleblower rules and misled Congress regarding the Eric Charmella Adam Schiff impeachment plot, was involved in the 2016 decision to scuttle the Clinton Foundation investigation as a then DOJ prosecutor. And why do you think he got that nice cushy position he's got now? Because he did that, most likely.
Yep, and then this is also in this. It goes over the 3 different probes that they had turned down, including the one in Arkansas down there, where they were lying to the investigator down there and telling him that there was an investigation when there wasn't an investigation, and then pulled everything from him at last minute. And he's like, "Wait, what?" So yeah, they did a lot of crooked shit, a lot of crooked shit in this thing, and all this stuff is coming out. So I find this very interesting too. And then Tron, you had posted this to me here because we're going to get into Supreme Court stuff. She posted this here, but you were saying there's like markings on here.
Yeah, guys. So if you take it in, I noticed it on the actual photograph. There was some smudging on there, and I thought it was my phone. I started cleaning my phone. I'm like, no, that's Hillary Clinton's dirtiness. So I changed the opacity, the exposure. So what she did was I don't know where this tweet comes from because there's no date on it. She erased it all. But so she's taking a screenshot of her tweet right here. In the 24 hours since Supreme Court's majority rule to demolish the Voting Rights Acts, remaining prosecutors Louisiana and Tennessee have already signaled that they'll redraw their congressional maps with the clear effect of shutting black voters out. The court's decision overlooks reality for a self-serving right-wing fantasy, and it will live in infamy. Meanwhile, so yeah, she's changing the names. Now, here's what's also weird. Look at her Hillary Clinton is her @ symbol is a capital H and a capital C. Now, if you look at the screenshot, it's lowercase. What's going on, dude? And I'm like, okay, maybe this is a post on Facebook. No, she doesn't do it on Facebook. This is a tweet. Something stinks, and it reminds me of Obama's birth certificate. When they provided the file in a PDF format, you bring it into Photoshop, and it's literally in layers. So, what's this?
I was just reading the thing. They were talking about the Supreme Court decision.
Now,
I just want to see if they say anything about the video.
Whenever Hillary tweets something out, guess what? She limits who can, comment on her tweet. But this one, This one, she just kept it going. And again, humiliation tour, keeping these people out there for specific reasons. And they leave us little clues like that. So I don't know if this is just a sloppy job or if this is, a little hint from behind the curtain. But man, very strange. Very, very strange.
They have been locking this account down a lot.
I think I got it, Hulk. I dropped you a link in there. I think it's a copy of her Instagram post. But why so sloppy?
Oh, so wait a minute. Oh, it's Instagram.
Yeah.
It's down there too, though. You can see it there as well.
So she screenshotted. Wait, I don't get it though. Where does this come from though? Is that screenshot an Instagram post or is it a tweet?
that's a screenshot. Looks like to me.
Yeah,
because normally I'm not going to log into
from Instagram then. So why would she take a screenshot of something and then post it again? That's what Boss does. Boss takes screenshots of other people's stuff and puts it on Truth Social. It's just very, very weird, dude.
Weird.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. What else do we got? So we had some issues with gerrymandering and whatnot going along because they're looking at race-based voting. They also ruled that congressional districts can't be basically race-based due to the black voters, because again, times have changed, and most of the black voter not living in the areas that they're supposedly sequestering off. So that's why we got all this Jenga going on. We'll look at some of these new maps that are going to be coming out here in the next couple of weeks, because this particular decision is making a big ramification for the upcoming elections. We just might be able to squeeze it by here. Justice Kagan's response here is, I dissent because Congress elected otherwise. I dissent because the court betrays its duty to faithfully implement the great statute Congress wrote. I dissent because the court decision will set back the foundation right Congress granted of racial equality and the electoral opportunity. I dissent. So yeah, she's not very happy of it, and it seems like Kagan is the one that's really trying to lag this out, make sure these decisions don't come out on time and lag that out, and hopefully they weren't going to be able to implement any of these changes coming up for the next election. So a lot of this stuff is coming over and over again. I just picked two highlights out of here, and I don't know how loud this is going to be, but Alito, which we thought was going to retire, isn't going to retire. He's hanging out here. And again, Alito's like, you're saying immigrants are all non-white. What about the Turks, the Greeks, Southern Indians? How about the Spaniards? Do you really have a broad definition who's white and who's non-white? It was great. They were dancing around these guys the whole time. So it doesn't look very good for them on defending this particular one as we come up. It was crazy. So these are some of the decisions coming out in the end of the month, but the one that came out a couple of days ago with the changes into the race-based voting is making huge. And again, since this came out, the state tried to challenge the decision, and normally those got like 45 days or 32 days before you can reply back to it, right? He told them you have until 4 p.m. today. No, we're not waiting 30 days till you get your shit together and figure out how you're going to argue this. You got 24 hours, you come back with an answer. Other than that, we're ruling against you. And that's basically what happened. So they slapped him down. That 4 o'clock thing has changed. And anybody hear no news today about being overturned? Nope. So this is the one. Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry plans to suspend the May 16th primary election so lawmakers can redraw the congressional districts after the Supreme Court ruling. This is the one that took it all the way up there. Look at this. On how crazy their gerrymandering is. Dude, I'm going to show you some of these other ones that they start getting into because they were going to start voting this on May 16th for the primary elections. They're staying that. We're going to basically redraw the districts, and then we're going to come out voting. So how fast they're going to get this done, I'm not entirely sure. And remember, also Virginia, the Supreme Court has officially denied the Democrats to reinstate the District 10 to R1 congressional map. So you say, nope, sorry, guys, everything's on hold, and then you guys get to go into Congress in 2027 and then figure it all out inside your congressional meetings and figure out the way that the land's going to lay out. And then you guys can come out with the new map. Other than that, we don't want to hear from you guys. So that's an interesting thing. It's not going to be changing over there in Virginia. Oh, yeah. What else do we got here? Oh, yeah. Dr. Matt Moreno with the UCLA Voting Rights Project provided testimony the Pennsylvania Legislative Reappointment Commission. His entire analysis was based on the Voting Rights Act. In the decision, remember in Pennsylvania, when they made that big decision on the 2020 election, they wrote in there they did it based on race-based politics because that was the law of the land there at that time. Well, guess what? That's going to change pretty quickly here. So I think that they're going to start challenging that over at Pennsylvania. What else did we have? A lot of them are coming out with this. Governor Pritzker right here. They're talking about the Aliens Rights Act and all those sort of things. And they says, you literally drew this. Look at this. Jenga stuff. They're doing puzzles and drawing like it's color pictures and stuff like that. You remember when they did this all right after the election?
Yep, in that upper right area there is Cook County. That's what basically, that's Chicago, and that's what votes for Illinois. So the fact that they have to get a little bit more is just hilarious, man. That's just funny.
Yeah, I got more for you here, and some of these what they're looking like. South Carolina implemented a clean, no-risk map for all the districts, Trump +6. So they're just showing that their state is strong because they're looking at their decisions there, 13 to 16. So again, nobody's going to be changing in South Carolina. So it's going to lock up that side. Hochul's getting in here too, saying that they're chipping away at our elections. And look at this. Look at what they drew here, dude.
That's like a marathon track.
Look at this
F1,
around the corner.
Part of that in the water?
Maybe, yeah.
Looks like that's in the water right there.
That's where the mob drops all the bodies at, so they got to vote for the Dems.
That was great. I like that, dude. Oh, that was great. What else do we got out here? Red state Alabama is now moving to get the new congressional map drawn by the Supreme Court to step in following the anti-racial gerrymandering ruling because they got ruled against. Alabama has districts that are clearly radically drawn. Their SCOTUS is the one that basically told them they couldn't change anything. So now they get to change it back. So that's a crap load of states. And if we go look at what the southern part of the United States is going to look like, look at that. Before and after.
Wow. That is huge. Right, like right there.
This is what it should look like right now. Right here. On the right. And that's just the southern states, dude. So, you know, we still got California because that puts them in there with their Prop 50 and they're trying to wring out all the Republicans out of their area. So that puts that on hold right off the bat. So it's going to get interesting. What else do we got here for the last little part here? AG Marshall, this was what state? This is Alabama again, because didn't I just do Alabama before? Yeah. So that was Alabama coming forward. The AG is basically pushing through. So yeah, it's a big decision for them. They were waiting for that. So red states are going to win. And remember, Judicial Watch is still hanging out. They just peeled off Colorado's dead voters at 372,000. Dead or missing, we don't know where they're at. But they keep voting, right? So that's that. What else do we got to show you over here? So let's check in with California and see how they're doing with Alex Padilla, who's trying to hold on to his AG spot as he's trying to run for Congress or for Senate.
Donald Trump and the Republican Party desperate to hold on to power in November because their record has been so bad. Their only hope is to rig the elections. That's why they're doing this.
But there is this effort in California that is focused more on voter ID. What is wrong with the concept if I show up to vote at my polling place, that I have to show an ID? When I have to show an ID to buy alcohol, I have to show an ID to get on a plane, I have to show an ID through so many aspects of my life. What's wrong with showing an ID to vote?
Yeah, again, they go back to it's a solution in search of a problem. In California, our elections are safe, they are secure, we want to keep them as accessible as possible. Well, but this could also keep eligible people from voting if you forgot your ID. You forgot to renew it, the week before. Now it's all of a sudden it's expired and you're not allowed to vote. It's a solution in search of a problem.
So if your ID's expired or you leave it at home, you can't vote. That sounds pretty stupid explanation for me. It's kind of like them telling me black people don't even know how to get on the internet.
I mean, it's not fair, Hulk. They don't know how to use the internet. They don't know how to find the DMV. They don't know how to get a license. Like, we gotta, catch these people up to speed. I mean, this guy's doing a bunch of what ifs, right? To basically, it's a solution in search of a problem. What if you, forget to update your ID? Well, you can't go to the liquor store either. You can't go rent a car either. There's a bunch of things you can't do if you forget to update your ID. So, not our problem. You don't get to vote that day. How about that? Huh?
And just as a reminder, his assistant was charged with big giant fraud in California. So he dissolved his office. He became AG. She went to go work for Gavin Newsom. And then the FBI raided her house and the offices and took her into custody. And they hid it for an entire year before they finally had to come out because he was going to be charged. And then it came out that his assistant was charged with fraud, even though the Biden administration wanted to charge Gavin Newsom and everybody else. They just blamed one lady for it. So they swept all that shit right underneath the rug. So as long as anybody's keeping score.
Yeah, you got those connections, right? The Pelosi, Feinstein, what is the families there? The Browns, and what's the other one there?
The Getty.
The Getty family, yes, thank you. Like, that's what you get with your connections.
That one.
That's the biggest.
The other thing that's coming out here is Texas had the Epic City with the Islamic Center and all that, and they went through the court system and said, no, there's no way that you can do it. They had a Texas magistrate judge that says, you got to let them do it. And basically, Greg Abbott, it says, Texas has already appealed this and halted the flawless learning. The Meadows, which was called Epic City, is now the subject of other legal action by the state. So they're still going after these guys, and it's just not the end of the story. So good luck, Texas. So hopefully you can hold on to your state.
Now, I don't want to misspeak here, but I saw somebody put a post out earlier, and I think it was Abbott, but they were trying to say that Abbott's taken like $20 million from some Pakistani Muslim guy, and that's why they're having a bunch of these things up. I might get the guy wrong. What's the other guy's name there? The two guys that are in there. I think it's him, though. I'm pretty sure. I'll see if I can find it.
You're not talking about Ken Paxton, the Attorney General, right?
Yeah, I think it was the governor there. But again, this is just one post that I saw, and I don't know if there's any validity to it. I didn't get to dig on it. It was literally like 10 minutes before the show.
Yeah, just remember, A.G. Paxton is going after Cornyn's spot for Senate, and he's leading here at this point. So that's look like who we're going to get here. So let's get back into Congress over here, because we had the longest shutdown that had come out. Let's see what Mr. Johnson has to say about the situation.
Priorities for the country in the last few days. Let me give you a couple of examples. We passed the Farm Bill, as you know, a major achievement, delivering real relief and certainty for our rural America and for all Americans. This is the first time Congress has done that since 2018. Been quite a while, but we got it done. We've also made certain that the House is going to be able to have an up or down vote on a date certain on the E15 issue, which is, is a big priority for a lot of our members here in the chamber. And most importantly of all the things we got done this week, we got the budget resolution passed. This is very, very important because that will ensure that border security and immigration enforcement will continue today and well into the future, despite Democrat attempts to reopen our border.
Well, they got their money that they need to, but in the bills it says that they can't use the money for legal immigrants and law enforcement on that side. That's one of the stipulations over there. But they're over there doing the reconciliation. They go, yeah, we got the money, no problem. We took it from there. We're going to feed it over here, and they're going to get all the money they want. So it's good that this finally came out, that it was how many days, 47 or 48 days on the shutdown or partial shutdown. So they're happy they got their money, because I didn't realize how bad it was, dude. Here, Tron, read that, how bad it got for the Coast Guard, because I didn't realize they were having problems.
Yeah, check it. The U.S. Coast Guard cannot pay its bills. The military branch, now 75 days into the longest shutdown in U.S. history, owes over $300 million in unpaid obligations, and with thousands of utility bills overdue, totaling $5.2 million. Duty stations and military housing worldwide are facing service shutdowns. Quote, it seems like a horror movie, but it's actually happening. It's almost unbelievable, says Coast Guard Admiral Kevin Lunde told CBS News.
So, yeah, they got their money back, so they're happy that this is coming around. So it seems like it's going to be good. We got enough money for DHS for the next 3 years. So they're off and running to the races here at this point. But, Speaker Johnson and the rest of the guys seem to be holding together the whole operation as best as possible, because we got Hakeem Jeffries over here. Did you hear what he said? He got all pissed off, and he's already going to weaponize the Democrats when they get back in power.
In the new Congress, we're going to have to do something about this Supreme Court. And let me be very clear. Everything is on the table. Everything to deal with this corrupt MAGA majority that is issuing political opinions that are designed to bolster the prospects of the Republican Party, and we will not allow them to succeed.
Heard my dogs there in the background.
So, yeah, they're talking about packing the Supreme Court and trying to get D.C. a statehood and, all the other things that Trump rumbles off on. He's saying we're going to do it in a big, long interview. So we're not holding back this time. And let's see if Trump can fight back after the election. We'll see how well it goes. What's your guys' opinion with the upcoming election? When you're talking to your general public out there, not us and the conspiracy theorist group, what do you feel that normal America is seeing? Anything? which way this election's going to go?
I haven't really talked to too many people about elections themselves, to be honest with you. But I mean, it's we have to clean this stuff up, right? But of course, they're going to come out with this rhetoric. But again, I haven't talked to too many people on it, and I wanted to let Tron get his thing. But I also have a little update about that Abbott thing for you. But go ahead, Tron.
No. I don't talk to anybody. I haven't had a real job in like 15 years. So it's the mailman, it's the FedEx guy, the UPS guy, the milkman. But that's not for me. That's for the wife. But nonetheless, they have no chance. They're not going to win. They can't win. And most importantly, clean up the voter rolls, get it all ready for the 2028 so we can have the diamonds return for another 4 times around, baby. Let's go.
4 times.
You're funny.
And Hulk, just really quick, breaking news, after it was revealed that 50 mosques were open in Dallas-Fort Worth in the last 24 months, a woman discovered that the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott's biggest donor, is a Pakistani Muslim who has given more than $14 million and $2 million this year. So then your buddy Grok checked it out and says, yes, the core claim checks out. Syed Javeed Anwar, Pakistani-born Muslim oil executive, is Governor Abbott's largest individual donor, millions across cycles, with recent reports showing cumulative totals over $14 million in multi-million contributions in the current one. So apparently Abbott's taking $14 million from a Pakistani muzzy.
I don't know if that guy is trying to push for those particular Muslim cities to be built. You know, that's the correlation that needs to be put together. Are they directly related? Or are we just kind of putting it together?
That's the whole Muslim, that's their whole thing is spread like wildfire. That's literally their deal.
So AOC got asked a question because TMZ is all over the place, and might as well just go right to the tape right here.
Okay, last thing then. What do you think we're going to have first? Are we going to have a female president first or a gay president?
Oh, no.
Oh, well, we don't know if we've already had a gay president.
Hey, that's true.
I think there are chances that maybe we have, but I don't know.
Okay.
So she said it. I wonder what she's mentioning there.
Oh, I think she's actually spot on for once.
I don't know which one she's talking about.
That has nothing to do with Barack Hussein Obama's wife having a cock. It has to do with him being in a limo and doing other gay stuff. So there's much gay here. And even Richard Grenell and Scott Brissett are disgusted by Barack Hussein Obama's behavior over the last many years.
Exactly. What else do we got here? Trying to read that.
Hearing on May 13th. Wait a minute. Speaking of hearing, I hear some voices in my head. Wait a minute. Oh, just kidding. It's Anna Paulina Luna waking me up. MK Ultra House Oversight Task Force, dude. I mean, how much are they going to throw at us? Now we have MK Ultra. We have voice-to-head technology. This is fascinating. This has been archived through the CIA and several institutions over the years. One of many ways they handle the handler and whatnot. But dude, this is mind control. This is science fiction, or is it reality? And again, Anna Paulina Luna is always the one that's tasked with the conspiracy angles.
I know.
This is tabloid. But again, 80-20, 60-40, there's always a little bit of truth here. And this one's a big one, dude. This one's a big one. This was Trump derangement syndrome before it was TDS. So this is legit, and this is huge.
So, some people back then called it MK Ultra, and we call it mainstream news. So it depends on what side you're thinking about. What else do we got here? We got a long changes of ATF stuff out here. Do we want to crack through this stuff or leave the link out for everybody?
You take a
drop the link.
Yeah, what is it? All non-over-the-counter firearms. Dude, I sent a video because...
come back off of your mic a little bit.
There we go. I sent a video a little while ago to Rambo because we were doing a segment he was doing a segment about Pennsylvania, and I sent him a thing, and so talking about guns, apparently all you need for an 18-year-old to get an AR is your ID. You just need a license. And they're showing these kids like walking down the street with AR-15s in friggin' Pennsylvania. And he's like, what'd you need to get that? Oh, just need my ID. Like, what?
Depends on what state you are. Here in California, good luck with that. So lots of changes. Everything that's been basically put into in the last 4 years have been basically pulled back. So the whole thing about the pistol braces and all that stuff that we thought were stupid. Requiring biological sex on ATF forms is the most important thing. So we got to watch out for those transgender shooters out there that have been going after the Republican Party. So yeah.
Well, Hulk, actually number 10, I actually kind of do agree with. Joint NFA registration for married couples. Only that I know for sure a few guys that I used to work with had multiple felonies, and he's like, oh, I'm going to the gun store after. Well, I have to wait in the car, and my wife goes in and she gets what I want. It's like, so that stuff will be, put a stop to, essentially.
Yeah, so that's going down there. They pushed through that. What else do we got over here? Oh, yeah, they came out with this on Monday. My legislations to strengthen and modernize the IRS Whistleblower Award Program passed by the U.S. House of Representatives. This vote is a win for American taxpayers and the workers. Common sense, bipartisan legislation, blah, 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 blah. You want to read that, Space Shot?
Given our ongoing litigation in U.S. Tax Court, Doyle Moynihan versus IRS, I humbly state there are no two other individuals in our nation today than my partner and I who have deeper insights and stronger perspectives on IRS whistleblower program and IRS itself. Embracing a de novo review of tax court decisions is a must. I will have more to say in due course. Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's got something cooking, dude, because I think he's kind of tied up in some of the other items in the RICO cases. That's why their information is being held off or stayed or slowed down. So it should be remedied because he started 2017. So you're probably talking 10 to 12 years before it gets finalized out. So in the next 2 to 3 years, we should get an answer on this.
I know. It's
going to take that long.
Unfortunately, it does. Give me a minute. I'm going to be away from the mic for about a minute. So.
Yeah, not a problem here. Well, we're going to get into some of the Dr. Fauci stuff over here. The DOJ has indicted David Morans, a former senior advisor to Dr. Anthony Fauci, for his role in scheming to evade the Freedom of Information Act requests connected to the COVID-19 research grants. And it says the indictment lists 2 uncharged co-conspirators. Those formerly Echo Heath Alliance President Dr. Peter Stanzik and Dr. Gerald Kush, I think I said that right, and an associate director of Boston University National Emergency, blah, blah, blah. So these 3 guys that we all saw in those emails long ago that talked about Dr. Fauci over there, and they're trying to hide the information, and they're saying that this thing doesn't look like a natural virus. It looks like it was actually made, which is 100% true. So these guys were making this stuff up. And they got a huge kickback when that deal went through that they were going to make all the vaccines. So that group got $7.5 million. So this guy, the guy that they indicted, this guy wrote an email to Danzig and the other guy over here, not Dr. Fauci. He goes, hey, you guys got that $7.5 million kickback there. I mean, shouldn't I get something back? I should get at least $1.5 million. He said it in an email. But again, they had also talked about, we can use other government communications like Gmail and all those things, because I can go walk over to Dr. Fauci and hand him the information in the morning, or I can send it to his Gmail list over there because the FOIA lady taught me how to evade the FOIA request. So it seems like they got a lot of pieces of this particular operation sealed up pretty tightly in the direction that it needs to go. And we need to figure out who the other 2 co-conspirators are going to be. This is getting huge. Comments?
You mean this was the official story wasn't real? You mean people weren't enjoying ramen soup with bats in it and then fell over in like hazmat suits? Remember all that footage that came out of Wuhan originally? And then I think someone in the West Coast got it first, or Italy got it first, or whatnot. But again, man,
Seattle.
that pandemic was an experiment on how far they can go. It was eugenics 101. And now restitution. We need transparency. We need accountability. We need justice. We might need some hemp rope. I don't know, dude. Again, treason, sedition. This is war against God's children. This is angels and demons. And there is a related case listed on the docket. It's under seal. So we don't know who it is, but it does look like there are others who either have been or are going to be charged here. And dude, think about it. We have it all. You're going to delete an email? Oh, let me click delete. Let me have a server in my New York Chappaqua house however you say it, some kind of Indian reservation. But nonetheless, we have it all, dude. You can't just delete emails. It doesn't work that way. The internet is forever. Dan Scavino invented the internet.
Yeah, so Daszak, Peter Daszak might be the other first co-conspirator going through, but there's another related case. So that's not going off the original charge of the two co-conspirators. Probably roll them up in there. So this is somebody else that's outside that box. So again, I'd like to point out that Rand Paul is the one that grilled Mr. Dr. Fauci in Congress for a long period of time and called him out. And, basically Dr. Fauci was telling him, I don't think you understand the information that you're relaying. And remember, he sent charges to the DOJ after the whole case thing was done. He sent an endorsement to charge Dr. Fauci. And the very next day, his home office, where they run the congressional district, burned to the ground.
With all due respect,
those hearings with Rand Paul and Fauci. I mean, these guys have been lying so much under oath. We have them on tape, dead to rights, done. We just got to go through the motion now.
Yeah, exactly.
And wait.
So, what else do we got in here? I learned from our FOIA lady here how to make the emails disappears after I'm FOIA'd, but before the search starts. That's the guy that just indicted. Oh, it's so great.
God. And there's another one too that I saw from, I don't know if you were playing it before I just came back, but Mike Benz had one where they're basically talking about the same, where it says like, oh, Fauci's smart enough to let his colleagues send things that would be a problem.
It's right here.
To his email. Is that the one? Okay. I can either send stuff to Tony on his private email or hand it to him at work or his home. He's too smart to let colleagues send him stuff that could cause trouble. Smiley face.
You know what's really funny is that the Epstein emails are just like this. Are they that blatant? Are they that stupid? These people are stupid. I mean, and then remember Nellie Orr with the ham radios, the Gmail drafts, and we have a Delta on the Xbox comms. But now, during pandemic, again, no panic, almost as if they're allowed to do this, very comfortable, hitting delete buttons. I mean, how dumb can it be? It's almost brilliant.
Yeah, we got some interesting stuff to show you with the Dan Bongino stuff coming up here, but we'll get to that here in a second here. Let's get to the health fraud case that they're putting together here. We're going to go right to the tape. They got a West Coast version of it, guys. Here it comes.
We welcome all who share our concern for taxpayer dollars to join us in this mission. And I am pleased to announce today a major new fraud division initiative to combat healthcare fraud. The creation of the West Coast Healthcare Fraud Strike Force in Arizona, Nevada, and right here in the Northern District of California. The data shows that the need for this new strike force is urgent and undeniable. Healthcare fraud in these districts imposes an enormous and growing burden on American taxpayers as fraudsters exploit programs meant for...
Yeah, enough of the rah. So new under J.D. Vance, this is the other basic kind of leg they're giving the federal government here to focus on these particular states themselves, mostly Democratic area stuff. Nevada's mostly Republican. But this is interesting because this is with our Attorney General of Northern California putting this together. I can't remember his name off my top of my head, but he's been kicking ass over here and following a lot of what Nick Shirley's been posting out there online. So this is good. So I went to go check on California Senate really quick here. To see what these guys are putting together. So Los Angeles Controller Kenneth says that they found fraud and abuse. A single homeless service provider gave fake documents and invoices, stealing $23 million. Not much. Another nonprofit, Skid Row Housing, managed 29 buildings. They let there to rot, and they'd never use them. And then the government had to come back in and spend $40 million to fix it. He also says, here's the kicker, he says they have a batch of 800 more cases, and they're going to be expensive.
Wow. Is that Bill O'Saley, the Attorney General here? Or the...
Yes, thank you. That's the guy I couldn't remember his name. So California Controller and everybody here in LA are starting to have to respond to these fraud charges, or else they're going to be charged for covering the fraud, because the DOJ is asking questions of all these states, because They want all these 29 states. We want your voter rolls. We want to know where the illegals are at. We want your Medicaid stuff, Medi-Cal, all that stuff you're spending. We want to know where it's going at. And they're fighting back right now saying, we're not going to give you anything. And the U.S. government's in like, fine, we're not going to send you any money. So it's kind of a standoff here at this point. So this is huge. It's coming back into California. And then here, even Bobby Kennedy says he found a hotel where every room was marked as headquarters for a nursing group in Gavin Newsom's California. They aren't actually doing nursing care. They're just collecting money. An entire hotel was filled. So I thought that was interesting, some of the things he is saying. Since there is still prosecutions going on in California over here, you remember the people are throwing the stuff off the bridge in California here when they're doing the riots for the ICE things?
Oh, yeah.
And they had those 6 cop cars? Well, they arrested 6 people in that deal. So they charged 6 men, all from Southern California, have pled guilty in federal court for throwing projectiles at law enforcement, you know, like the scooters, the rocks, and all that. So, yeah, they will come and get you guys. That Pantier AI stuff is coming. So, I mean, justice finally comes around out there, and I think I got a whole bunch of other stuff here. Now, this is interesting coming to California. Space Shot, you want to read this?
Why, certainly. I love this stuff, too. Sergey Brin and Governor Gavin Newsom had a tense exchange over California's proposed billionaire tax. Oh, why? What would be the problem? I don't understand. The tax, which would impose a one-time 5% tax on California billionaires, has made Brin more willing to spend some of his estimated $273 billion fortune on elections and, evidently, more receptive to Republican points of view in opposing it. In the past, Brin consistently embraced leftist positions, donated to a campaign to defend same-sex marriage in California in 2008, and backed President Barack Obama's re-election bid in 2012. So far, though, Brin has spent $57 million to try to undercut the tax, including $9 million more disclosed on Friday. Brin's spending has made him the state's second-largest individual donor this election cycle, behind only billionaire Tom Steyer, who was running for governor himself. When asked about the tax, Brin said, quote, "I fled socialism with my family in 1979 and know the devastating, oppressive society it created in the Soviet Union. I don't want California to end up in the same place. Bye-bye."
That's an interesting thing for him to say coming from that side. So, yeah, got to fight back against the Democratic Party. And again, I'm not saying his side of the Republican group is going to be something we all want. I just find it interesting that they're going to fight over the Battle of California here very shortly. Who's going to win? I wonder.
That's going to be awesome. I mean, I think he said he's going to be moving out essentially, but I mean, you know, anybody good at quick math? You know, what's 5% of $273 billion? That's crazy. I got to put my phone sideways for that one. 000.
Yeah, California wants to do a one-time billionaires tax and collect 5% for everybody that has $1 billion or more.
Oh, dude, I don't know what the big issue is. He'd only have to pay $13.650 billion. $13.65 billion. No biggie. Wow.
Good old California. Good old California.
Speaking of billions of dollars, you guys want to do a little commercial real quick?
Oh yeah. Because my Maserati needs some gas out there. Oh, actually, my new old car that I just got the other day. Because that's how ballin' we are here with my 18-year-old new old car. All right, what are we gonna do here? Let me see.
Let me go look.
Let me see what we got here, boys.
I don't have 750 people watching.
I do.
I have to do a full refresh, dude. I'm gonna lose all my chat.
Refresh.
That's one thing I hate.
Yeah, I gotta do. As long as you don't refresh the room itself, like on the other, I keep one open and close the other one. Essentially, here we go. Refresh it.
Rumble wallet. That's the only thing I got.
There's a one that's called Epstein Week. That's weird. Fall of Minneapolis by Alpha News.
I do have that.
I got Rumble Wallet. I do got a Rumble Wallet, and I do got the other ones. So
let's do the Rumble Wallet.
Let's do the Rumble Wallet. Okay, Rumble Wallet, boys. Clicking.
Commercial! Break for 30 seconds.
I think we both watched the other day or in the last week. All right, guys, quick question. How much control do you actually have over your money right now? Technology has changed everything, and now it's changing how money works. Crypto started as a niche, but now it's going mainstream. Faster payments, more control, fewer middlemen. This isn't hype. It's just where things are going. And getting started today is easier than you think. That's where Rumble Wallet comes in. With Rumble Wallet, you can buy Bitcoin, hold dollar-backed stablecoins, even own digital gold backed by real gold, all in one place. Setup is simple. It connects with MoonPay, so you can use your debit card, credit card, or bank account and be up and running in minutes. Start small, $10, $50, $100. Not about the amount, it's about getting in early and understanding what's coming next. And once you're set up, you can even tip your favorite Rumble creators, like me, directly. So do this now. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description and download Rumble Wallet. From there, you can set up your wallet, tap buy, and you're in the game. Take control of your money. Get started with Rumble Wallet today. Boom.
Break for 30 seconds.
It's a great movie.
Fifth Element,
Gotta
for
see
those
it.
who were wondering where that little clip is from.
I've never seen it. And Hulk, you told me to watch that movie like 4 years ago, dude.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
so,
you
it's
need to,
worth it.
again, get a piece of paper and a pen. So Stargate, Battlefield Earth, I'm sorry, it sucks, but watch it. It's the plot line you need to pay attention to, and then finish it off with Fifth Element. Maybe all happy. Fifth Element is a great, but you've seen Stargate, right?
Yes, of course. Richard Dean Anderson, come on now.
Yeah, you got to put that back on the Barbie and then see Battlefield Earth with John Sucks. The movie sucks. I'm sorry, but it's a very important thing. Let's get back into some newsy stuff. You ready? So this came out here. What is he saying here? Oh yeah. Okay, so it starts out here. We don't want to read that much. We're going to do this one. Space Shot, would you read this?
Mike
Right here?
Davis, started under Emil Bo. Pam Bondi fired bad people, hired good people, closed bad cases, and opened good cases. The shock and awe campaign brought to heal the out-of-control DOJ career staff who thought they didn't report to anyone and sabotaged the will of American voters by sabotaging their president and his team. Pam defended and won a nearly unbroken series of monumental Supreme Court cases, restoring the president's constitutional powers to deliver on his electoral mandate for all Americans. Todd Blanche, her loyal wingman, is finishing the job.
And then Martin here, I am knee deep in all this. The below is correct. So we'll see what Ed Martin was doing. So he says was and am. So that was an interesting thing because I thought he was out. So little interesting tidbits. Then I ran by this one. We're going to spend a little time, a couple of clips coming out here from Dan Bongino. Did any of you guys see these clips come out?
Yeah, these are great. This is Dan being Dan. This is a Patriot, and this is being on the inside, dude. You can tell he's passionate.
Yeah, so here's this. We'll start off here.
But listen, I will never be the same, and I'm being as serious as a stroke right now. I'm scared, man. Like I know what I did, and I'm proud of my work, and I'm proud of what me and Cash accomplished in the past year. Beyond proud. I know what we did. I know what's coming. I know what I started. I know what I laid out, and I know it's all, you saw a lot of these cases coming out over the past few days even. But don't think for a second that I don't think every day, and this is what's really sad, and this is why I know, and I never thought this after reading that enough Friday night, that they're going to come for me. And listen, man, it's not a sob story. I knew what I was getting into. But it happened to the president, and he went through just the worst, just destruction of his civil liberties I've ever seen. But I say to my wife all the time, I know, Sean, I can look you in the face as a friend, tell you and your millions of viewers and listeners, I promise you everything I did with a dotted I and a crossed T. I brought in my own attorney from the outside, person I trusted, a wonderful, wonderful person. I said, no, everything don't matter. They'll rewrite the book, just like they did for President Trump. And I said to my wife, I said, I got a 14-year-old. The presidency could change. I hope it doesn't in a little over 2 years. You don't think on election night, if we lose, like it's not going through my head, like they're going to send some thugs to my house? I was never the same after that, because after reading what I read about how many people did this to President Trump, this Russia hoax, collusion, crossfire hurricane bullshit, and not a single person stopped them, I'm terrified that they're just not going to do the right thing when they're in charge.
So, yeah, interesting. Those are interesting comments coming from, I'm scared, man. I know what I did, and I'm proud of my work. I was saying a lot of the groundwork. Now, if it holds true in the beginning where he was there to kind of shake the entire tree up and then set the direction of the prosecutions are going to go, that's why we got an Ed Martin and the rest of the guys going through some of this stuff, then that's good. Thoughts on this so far?
Oh, I loved it. And, I know what I did. I he wanted to say something, but it sounds to me like he set some things in motion. And as he said right there, you even saw a couple of them this week. I think it's all this big-ass RICO. I think it's this ginormous friggin' conspiracy case, like the grand conspiracy we spoke about. I think we titled last week's show, Grand Conspiracy. I think he helped lay that out. And so at least that's the way it sounds.
I got this other clip here for you guys too here. Yeah. This is back to the burn bags.
Floor, Narnia, which was a magic room, and I use that term magic jokingly, where a lot of things just appeared. And we were like,
the burn bags?
The burn bags, right.
Can you explain a burn bag?
So a burn bag is just a paper bag, and you throw material in there that is supposed to be burned. Burn bag sounds big because it sounds like something nefarious. If you have a paper copy of a document you're not obligated to store, you burn it. So it goes in a burn bag. It would be like in the Secret Service, a motorcade route. You don't want the enemy getting it. You throw in a burn and they burn it. However, somebody didn't burn these bags. Why? Well, see as the case proceeds, but somebody didn't burn these bags. So we found.
I got a question. Do you suspect maybe somebody purposely put them away that you'd find them? Because they didn't like what they were living through?
And this is why I say to people that be careful painting the entire Bureau with an overly broad brush. There were a ton of bad actors, and more than I expected, and you are correct about that. But there were a lot of people in there under extreme pressure who, you get where I'm going with this? Who were probably like, this isn't right.
You suspect somebody did it on purpose?
The mother lode. And there was a document in there that we were never meant to find that was basically the keys to the kingdom on Crossfire. And the document was so sensitive, we were not even to carry it outside of the office, outside of an official with the whole, and I wasn't bringing it home. It was a weekend, so I just stayed at the office to read it. It was about 100 pages with the footnotes. The footnotes were probably as interesting as the actual document. And it took me a good 4 hours to get through this. And I'm reading it, having written, 3 books on Spygate, Russiagate. I mean, you covered this. You, John Solomon, Sarah Carter.
Every night.
Oh, my gosh, every night. And I thought it was bad. And like I told you in the beginning of this interview, like some of the things prior as I came in where I thought this thing was going to be this thing and it turned out to be another thing. This thing I thought was going to be bad. I didn't think it was going to be worse than bad. I'm reading this document. And I'm like, I can't believe this happened in the United States. And it wasn't just that it happened in the United States. It was that so many people knew about it and nobody had the balls to say to anyone on the 7th floor or in the agency or with some of our foreign partners, like, hey, that's bullshit. It's in the paper. Just read the paper. All you had to do was read it. This thing was bullshit from the start. I know that's not the story. You knew the Russia hoax was bullshit. Everybody knew it was bullshit. The PPT, all that stuff. That's not the point. The point is they knew it was bullshit. There is no way they thought this was.
Interesting things. He is talking about burn bags, Narnia. Somebody left those things out.
Like a little plan at, accidentally leaving them unburned. What happened to shredders? Arthur Anderson, Enron. It doesn't work anymore. Now you got to treat it like the Salem witch trials. You got to burn the documents. And why weren't they burned? Right? Why weren't they burned? We have it all. And now we literally have it all because they can't burn the burn bag. What's happening, right?
Space Shot, you ready to read this next one?
Yeah, but hold on. Because dude, this one it's so bananas to me. Like Tron saying, and even
this fits in with what we're talking about right now.
All right, go ahead.
All right, you ready? I can't find the clip or the exact audio click, but make sure you're ready to read this because I thought this was very interesting.
Ready to read.
Right here at the top.
Notice a pattern? Dan Bongino was given a list of names to rate 1 through 10, 10 being absolute traitors to America. The only name he didn't give an answer to was Christopher Wray. James Comey, 10, 10 being the worst guys. McCabe, 10. Peter Strzok, 10. John Brennan, still out. Coincidentally enough, when Maria Bartiromo criticized President Trump for not firing Wray in 24, Trump replied, quote, well, I don't know. Let's see what the final judgment is. I've been saying it for years. Don't sleep on Wray. How do you think those burn bags got into Kash Patel and DNI Gabbard's hands? I mean, dude, because that's my question the whole time, right? Is
Rays of Light. I'd like to point that out. Remember
Rays
those in
Light,
the post?
Rays of Light, Trust
Rays
Ray.
of Sleeper.
Yeah, and then, let's just say it's me, Tron, and Hulk, and we're in the FBI. All right, Tron, me and Hulk just got these documents here. We're going to give them to you. They got to go into the burn bag. They got to be burned. We got to get rid of these things now. Why somebody didn't actively sit over them? Like if I was part of these people, what they did to President Trump, and I knew that this information had to get put into a burn bag and taken care of, my ass would have been sat there watching those documents getting burned. But somehow somebody took those out and kept them to the side, and it happened to be the mother lode, the key to Crossfire Hurricane. And even Dan Bongino, who wrote books about it, was like, oh my God, I had no idea it was this bad. So yeah, we have it all. Makes sense.
Remember during those congressional hearings, what was that term that he kept on saying over and over? And we're like, son of a ongoing investigations or something along those lines. He just kept, deflecting. And then now here we are years later, like,
Can't comment
and again, you don't have to listen to us, listen to the boss, listen to the timeline, listen to the drops from many years ago. It's kind of coming together, right?
Yeah, so if this holds true and they put this thing together and Christopher Wray could be the rays of light we all wanted him to be, but couldn't do it underneath the first administration, who knows? I'm not saying he's a good guy, bad guy. We don't know. We know he did come out from Chris Christie. He was his personal lawyer at that time for Bridgegate and all that, and he was the one that said, bring Christopher Wray in. So it's going to get interesting here in the next, What month is normally hot? August?
August is traditionally very hot, yes.
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
HOT was an acronym for House of Termination we came up with years ago, or Doc did.
Yeah, White House of Termination letters, yep. Yeah.
During
my going to get interesting.
During my 3 terms as president.
We could read this really quick. Tron, you want to read a little?
Dan Bongino confirms your encryption efforts to keep your data private is just an illusion. Oh, kind of like the magic trick on Saturday night for the government. We don't have to crack encryptions anymore. And remember when that iPhone deal came out years ago, they were trying to get into the iPhone and Apple was like, oh, we can't let you in. We're going to let you in. He says they don't really need FISA anymore. The physical act of you simply typing on your phone is akin to watching you electronically over your shoulder. Wow, real time. He goes on to say, while this is extremely pervasive to privacy, he and Kash Patel, made sure to put in an unbelievable set of restrictive rules to use it. Question, if the FBI doesn't have to crack encryptions anymore, why did the FBI tell us that they are having a difficult time getting past encryption firewalls, burner phones of Thomas Crooks? And that's July 13th. If this encryption method, that's what I was talking about. Method were more sophisticated, government level grade. What does that suggest? Wow, dude.
They have it all.
Yep. It's interesting some of the things he was saying in here because he goes off in a lot of different tangents, but this is the crux of where we're getting at. And remember, Trump wants to clean FISA right now, just throw it right through the system. I don't want to change anything right now because it works for him with the Palantir and the spying and all those sort of things, and you don't need FISA anymore. And he's coming out and saying this, that nothing is safe anymore, especially with AI and the new Anthropic model. Mythos, yeah, good luck.
What does Mythos do? What does that do?
It's their super AI thing. This is the one that was their pen tester for their security for the internet, and they were testing it in a closed system. And it escaped out of the box and then posted online and trolled the people that were doing the test.
Oh,
it's bad.
Are we still talking about Comey?
No, we're past Comey.
I do have something very interesting. I don't know. Just take a look down at the bottom of tips. You might have it already. I don't know. This is new for me.
No, what is he saying?
Possible another indictment. So I'll just read it really quick. He basically, the post says the U.S. Department of Justice may be preparing a new case in Virginia against James Comey for leaking classified intelligence. That's speaking from General Mike Flynn on
That's the lawyer. Yeah, that's the lawyer issue that they had over there and saying that you can't use this lawyer, Trump appointed, blah, blah, blah. Needs to be said and confirmed and all those. So that's what happened with that case, and that's the way they ruled it, and nobody ever went back. I can't remember who. It was Pam Bondi and, was it Haba? No, she's New Jersey. I can't remember who was running it over there. Another interesting thing.
Good addition from Matthew T and FM. Thank you, brother. Alrighty then, what do we got here? We got holy shite. I don't know how to say that, but Maine Governor Janet Mills is dropping out of the governor's race. When Doge
Senate.
Was it? Okay. When Doge
She's
and
governor.
when Doge and the hunt for nationwide fraud began, I said, watch all these crooked Democrats slowly start to run out of money. Why did Janet drop out? Quote, I very simply don't have the one thing that political campaigns unfortunately require today. The financial resources. Boom. Cannot continue to run. Love it.
So over a long period of time, I've talked about Maine. Does anybody remember the issue with Maine?
Yeah, there's a lot of issues with Maine.
What was the main thing?
What was it? The stuff that they were doing with oh God, what is it? Selling houses, real estate? No, real
Negatory.
estate and the what?
Here, read.
Right after Maine Governor Janet Mills' own brother pushed the paperwork on that Chinese-linked illegal marijuana grow house in Corinna, now raided, and suddenly Governor Mills ran out of cash and drops out. Oh, I didn't know that was Maine.
We talked about this a while ago that the brother is the one that signed for the lease for the land and ran the operation that was being funded by the Chinese, because Chinese like to do marijuana grows up in Maine because everybody leaves them alone out there, and they had thousands of them over there. It was a big problem. Nobody's prosecuting them, and Maine's governor was tied up into this. He got arrested and started to prosecute, and she doesn't have any money left, and she was running for a Senate seat in Congress. Interesting, huh? But it doesn't end there. Who's going to be the replacement for the main person? I'm jogging everybody's memory if you guys don't remember any of this, and you'll remember this next person when I put this clip up. Guess who's the person that's probably going to win?
Shaheen?
You better not have Chinese weed. You show up with that, we're not friends.
Remember the dude with the Nazi tattoo on his chest?
Oh.
That dude.
Huh.
Remember
the drive and passion, commitment and experience, and above all else, the fight to continue on. I very simply do not have the one thing that political.
So that guy was caught in the bar. Democrat Graham Plantier, as a candidate with the documented Nazi leak tattoo, is now the heaviest favorite to win the Democratic Senate nomination for Maine. Yay!
Oh my God.
See?
Chuck Schumer endorsed. Great.
Yeah, exactly. And the dude with the Nazi tattoo. Who's Nazis? Well, let's keep going there. Here, you can read this for everybody too, Mr. Space Shot.
Orleans Parish Sheriff Hudson has been indicted on 30 felony counts over the 2025 escape of 10 inmates, with prosecutors alleging her office failed to prevent the jailbreak and later tried to cover it up. Hey, she has to go hang out with them.
That looks like the next Secret Service detail for Boss's rally. Like, what is this? And I'm being sarcastic, but oh my goodness, like, never mind. I'll just, yeah. So
large amounts of fraud in labor, people not showing up to work, spending money where they shouldn't supposed to. And then since there's not enough people escaping, and they knew they were going to escape, they knew how they were going to escape and never stopped them from doing it.
Yeah, there's no Shawshank Redemption happening here, dude. This is pretty simple.
So that happened. What else do we got for you? I got more. Hey, you remember the judge? I think it's in New Jersey that was saying that he's got the one person from Venezuela leaving at his house. Well, they got arrested. So the Judge Juan Cano and his wife arrested by federal authorities after harbored a TDA gang member at their home. That's coming from Russ Vought, his new account out there. He's from the OMB. So, yeah, it's his commentary account, so it's fake. But, yeah, I thought that was interesting. They finally got arrested and prosecuted. So they're definitely coming around.
Whoops.
What else do we got now? This is interesting. Mr. Space Shot, would you take a crack at this?
I would. 2 Chinese nationals just got arrested in New York for building an industrial meth factory capable of producing 800 kilograms per production cycle, shipping it across 2 continents in containers, and offering ongoing technical support to drug cartels. This is not Breaking Bad. This is a DOJ indictment unsealed 3 days ago. Wen Fang Chui, or Kui, 41, and Fan Pang, 26, both Chinese citizens, spent 8 months communicating with DEA undercover operatives posing as cartel traffickers. Kui designed custom industrial machinery to synthesize methamphetamine at factory scale. He provided a nearly 5,000-word technical manual, detailed blueprints, component list including stainless steel reactors, hydrogenation systems, and centrifuges, and offered on-site installation support in Central America. The completed factory, weighing 21,000 kilograms and filling multiple shipping containers, was dispatched from a port in Shanghai in December of 25. Workers photographed next to the machine called it, quote, the future of the global chemical industry. European law enforcement seized the containers before delivery. Kui and Pang were arrested in New York on February 2nd of 26 after a meeting where they handed over detailed operational instructions in person. They also separately shipped methamphetamine precursor chemicals directly to New York. No link to the Chinese government has been alleged in this case. There are individuals facing criminal charges, blah, 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 blah.
Look at this machine they built.
That's not
Breaking Bad style. There's
blue stuff. That's that baby blue. Yeah, this is like the finale at the end when he touches the equipment. He slides off.
That's when he got in there with like Gus and the real deal place.
Yeah,
dude,
speaking
crazy.
Of Nazis, that's also that connection too. That's wild. Yeah, life in prison.
What else do we got here too? As long as we're getting here now. So they raided over 20 spots in this new raid. So this is all just recently, which means Governor Waltz and the rest of them are all panicking now because they're finally going after all these people they had listed out that they were reporting out. And most of it came from Nick Shirley and whatnot here.
We all know it really didn't. I mean, Nick Shirley was the catalyst, and
yes.
Pray for Nick. He's doing amazing work. And we need a lot more Nick Shirley. So imagine a teenager, Nick Shirley, valedictorian, whatever the story is, and look at the impact. And this is a perfect example, no matter how big or how small you are, raise your voice, get an awareness going on, and this is the win.
Here, you could take a crack at this because Tim Waltz checked in here. Read that first.
Guys, from Tim Balls to the Walls, Minnesota, today's raids by state and federal law enforcement happened because our state agencies caught irregular behavior and reported it. Oh, that's a good employee. That's how the system is supposed to work. And our agencies will keep at it as long as there are fraudsters around to put bars behind. Yeah, just stay in Minnesota, Tim. You're going to be busy for a while. From Cash Patel, come on, or come again. Come again? That's actually funny. Cash, come again. This FBI and DOJ, with our DHS partners, drafted and executed every search warrant today. But go ahead and take credit for our work while we smoke out the fraud plaguing Minnesota under your governorship. Wow.
That's great. Called him out on it, dude, as they were getting in there. So that takes Dr. Oz over here, who's basically saying we're going to withhold $91 million of federal Medicaid funding for right now until you guys can put your act together. And then once you get that back together and put forth the information about who should get this money and all the things that qualify for that, you guys are getting nothing. So that was his big, long 2-minute speech shortly thereafter. So they're really going after these in California, over here in Minnesota. So we might be staying off some of the illegal immigration, ICE raids, and those sort of things coming up for the election for optics here at this point. But don't think that faucet is not going to be ever turned back on again. I think after the election, it don't matter. It depends on really how well it goes or negative it goes on how well we're going to get back into that particular racket, because we still need to deal with the 2028. So I think we're in good hands. I don't know. Your thoughts?
Not too much thoughts on him. Yeah, no. I there might be some information coming out on Dr. Oz as well soon, but I don't know. We'll see. Just remember that.
In case you go to Google Maps and want to go visit Quality Learning Center, they've
You want some privacy? There's a way to get in there and have your home blurred out. I highly advise don't give Google any more information they need. Go in there and get that done. But yeah, man, look at that. Leering centers.
Here, I thought this was great because Lurch is making some freaking good points here. We're going to start off here first. He's got two videos.
Border, and it was sky.
Oops. Are we all the way up?
Border, and it was skyrocketing, and it's like, that's unsustainable. When you reach almost 300,000 people, that's unsustainable, and we need to, as a Democrat, It shouldn't be unreasonable to want to secure our border and do it in that way. And now let's also talk about ICE. Now, absolutely, again, what happened in Minneapolis was absolutely tragic. And then now, if you think, now, this is from the Washington Post. This is the latest statistics. These are people that ICE now are, it's like now 67% have criminal charges, pending ones, or that. So that's more than 2/3. The people now there are some people that aren't involved in any kinds of illegal things, but so me, I think two things can be true. Round up all the criminals, deport them. They shouldn't have ever been here, and they definitely have to go. And now I don't want to see more and more things happening in Minneapolis now too. So two things must be true. And I strongly reject the extreme on either side, about this now. So we must be true.
He's saying he's pro-ICE here at this point. Take the illegals out. And then he made this interesting comment that made me kind of think, because, the Democrats are moving, and he's still in one particular
spot. And we
spot.
actually need other votes other than just the extreme part of my party. We're going to remind that. And now, as the only single Democrat that's flipped a seat, and now I've also made it mathematically impossible to reclaim the majority in the United States Senate. So if they want the Democratic Party to turn it into a witch burning and to go after, the one Democrat that's done the thing that, these people haven't been able to do, so they're entitled to do it. But I'm proud to represent Pennsylvania, and I don't just represent just Democrats in Pennsylvania. I represent all 13 million Pennsylvanians, and I'm going to play it straight. I'm going to never lie or pretend something's wrong. I'm going to just, what's right, I will support. And that's the voice that I'm going to continue to be.
Well, I think he's making a lot of sense, when he's saying, obviously, he's still got his stroke issues out there. But if the Democratic Party wants to go after him for saying these sort of things, I think they're going to alienate a lot more of the general Democratic Party that's not the woke or the extreme side of the party itself. So if they're going to go after him and this whole assembly or whatnot, then it's going to look bad for the Democrats overall.
Now, did he say he switched? I've also made it mathematically impossible to reclaim the majority. He says the only single
the seat that he took.
Flip seats. Okay, I made it mathematically impossible because he's voting on our side. I'm telling you, dude, he's going to go Republican all the way. That'll be my prediction in the next 3 months.
So the real question is, are they going to attack him or are they going to leave him alone? Because the Hakeem Jeffries and the rest of the group are going to go after his conservative thought process and alienate more of the voters. It's going to get interesting. We'll see. Elections, I think, are good. You can put your comments out in chat. Tell me what you think. What else do we got? We got a last couple of ones here. What else do we want to get into? Jerome Powell is out. They've got a new pick. The big change is he's not going to give any more press conferences. They didn't change the rate or anything like that. And he's going to stay on the board himself. It's the first time in 48 years a Fed chair is not going to retire and go away. He's going to hang out, and he's basically putting his flag in the sand and saying, I'm going to stand up against Donald Trump and all the things he's been going after, because obviously he still has his ongoing court case battle with the building he's upgraded. That small building he spent, $3 billion on. They don't know where it went to. So yeah, he's looking like he's got some problems. And this is our new pick over here, by the way. What is his name? Kevin Walsh, who's just been out of the Senate baking. He was confirmed. So he'd have to do Senate confirmation, all that, but Walsh. So I've seen him do testimony before, right?
I think I've seen him a couple times, yeah. And, anybody's better than too late Jerome Powell.
Yeah. But again, you got this big looming debt that's coming up here. Got a couple of things to go along with that one. Tron, you want to read a little?
This could be the largest asset bubble in human history. Semiconductors now make up to 14% of the entire U.S. stock market. That is double the dot-com peak of 7% in the year 2000. During the dot-com bubble, chip stocks hit 7% of total market cap and then crashed 80% over the next 2 years. It took 20 years to get back to that level. In 2020, semiconductors were at 4%. Then AI happened. The weighting went from 4% to 14% in just 5 years. NVIDIA alone is now worth $5 trillion. The last time one sector got this dominant relative to history, it did not end well. Either of market cap in a single sector since the year 2000. Yeah, that's big.
It's big. Too big to fail? Yeah. You just need one of them there, and it could be pretty rocky. Other things in the economy is jobless claims plunged to 189,000, the lowest since March of 1969, with the numbers there running because obviously the Biden administration was adding 200 to 300,000 into jobless claims to make the numbers look better. These are actually good. So that's the lowest that we've seen in a very, very long time. Look at the big 2020 there. That's crazy. Oh my God. What else do we got here? We got Peter Ducey facts. We'll play him.
When you look at overall inflation for the first year of Trump versus Biden, Biden, overall inflation was up 4.3%, higher than Trump, just up 1.6%. Groceries under Biden in that time, up 3.8%, with Trump up 1.3%. And then when it comes to gas, this is crazy. Biden up 24.4%, with Trump it is actually down 5.4%. That is where the biggest difference is. And we heard from the...
And you got to remember out there with the gas prices that were going up, they were using the Federal Reserve, or I should say the National Reserves, to feed into the fuel system. So that's what kept gas prices low at the pump, but high in the market. So yeah, they were faking it. Now, Tron, make this make sense to me.
Breaking NASDAQ and S&P 500 just hit an all-time high. And the U.S. stocks have now added over $10 trillion in market cap in the last 30 days. And this is the movement, dude. Like when Boss says that he can make markets move, he does that. Remember Liberation Day, months after, he's like, now's a good time to buy. And the market went up like 300%. Absolutely amazing. And right now the markets, guys, like, if you have a little bit of the Gray Sports Almanac, you have a better prediction, scalability than others out there. I'll watch these professional stock traders, and they have no confidence in our president. They call him Taco, and as he tacos their way into great savings, this is a tremendous market. And like I say, man, whether it's silver, gold, or crypto, and just the S&P in general, you're seeing it all move together. You're seeing it all move together. You're not seeing one go off in one, other directions. Maybe oil does that, but this is absolutely fascinating. S&P 500, and if you have any children, throw a couple bucks in their college fund and whatnot. Let that mutual fund grow. And Boss just announced today that we're going to have Trump IRAs. So again, more options for us Americans out there saving money, and this is something that maybe some people don't learn in where our president is kind of focusing on, hey, you can save a little cash. You can own a home. We're going to make this happen for you. So again, opportunity. This is fantastic. And let's just keep it going. Look at that, man.
Yeah, I was trying to find the little comment that I had put in here because I just happened to run by that Texas with their Permian Basin and fuel and stuff that's going on over there. That one side of the west side of the Texas, that natural gas is so cheap, they're actually paying people to take it because they got an oversupply. So they'll pay you to go take natural gas. So I thought that was interesting. What else do we got? Oh yeah, U.S. government made more money on one stock trade than most countries in 1 year. When the Trump administration bought Intel at $20 on August 22nd, 2025, the stock crashed 74%, and everyone thought the company was dead. They invested about $9 billion. And Intel is now trading at 83, and it's up 400% in the last 8 months.
Holy cow. Yeah.
So basically,
and Boss didn't have to tell you, oh, go buy Intel. No, our country invested in it. I mean, is it going to fail? I mean, you can't let that happen. So that was kind of like an easy one right there.
Yeah, deals with the TMC and Samsung, and then putting the stuff together and then being part of the AI structure, I think, is a good positive direction for Intel. So they're cranking it back out. What else do we got left to show you? Oh, yeah, this is coming out.
Final report on what happened to at least 11 missing or dead American scientists who were all working on top-level space or nuclear research. FBI Director Kash Patel telling Fox News Digital those investigations are collectively being looked at by the FBI pursuant to the president at the White House's request. So we are reaching out. We've already done it. We're engaged. They're all state cases, but we're looking to see if there's any connection, and we're going to have a final report here in short order.
So I thought that was interesting because I've been kind of following this story around. Just want to throw this one piece out there. Would you want to take that, Tron?
Breaking news, Amy Eskridge, one of the 15 plus, wow, there's 15, missing or deceased scientists told her friend Frank Milburn via Signal chat, why is she on Signal, on October 26th of 21 that the world was ending. Sounds like that woman on that airplane. I told you the cataclysm was in 7 years. That would be October of 2028, like he just said, UFO Twitter. So, man, that is what is going on. Look at this. And it's in Spanish a little bit, the top.
It says, I told you the cataclysm was in 7 years. That would be 2028, just like I said. You can secretly travel to it before it was invented. You cannot go into the future.
Hold on. Where's this coming from? Let me see this tweet. What is this? Where did you pull this from? Is this one of those? Yeah.
No, this is pulling out from supposedly her side of her communicating with the other people as they're going in there. But I've heard this particular story numerous times with these people saying that they were going to get off, disappeared, those types of things.
Yeah, there was a few of those that had the same story. They told their family, if anything happens to me, and then
the dude down in Arizona, the colonel guy who his wife with the 911 call said that he had prepared to leave. He left his cell phone behind. I went and checked the gun safe. There was a gun missing. He was totally prepared and going out the door, and and it didn't sound like the dude was crazy and got lost. I'll put it that way. And then some of the other guys are saying like, well, some of these people might be talking to people they shouldn't. And then Boss says, yeah, and then Boss this today was like, some of these people are no longer with us on Earth.
Yeah, I heard that today too, dude. I'm telling you, Space Shot. What do you think, dude? This is crazy.
Well, I didn't want to blow it for you guys, but I got an advanced copy of the report there that the FBI is going to put out, and they said that they don't know where they went. I mean, that's pretty much what they're going to say. But this stuff's all weird, and just talking about the stuff that we talking about time travel stuff, like. If you go back and look at the analytics, which I've done, the Barron Trump book with President Trump, I forget, what is he, like 20 years old now or something like that? So he was born in like 2005, 6 or something like that. Nobody apparently looked up the Barron Trump book up until like 2015, 16 to 17. That's when like the online people started like searching for it, even though the book has supposedly been out for 100 years or whatever. So that's just weird stuff that like I don't know how to put my thumb on exactly. So could this
butterfly effect,
right? The butterfly effect, and I showed you guys that thing the other day. And this is for everybody, Hulk. I don't know if you saw what I dropped in there with the ET thing. Do you remember that like that? Because in every copy I see right now, he sticks his finger in the air and he goes ET home phone.
No, we did this. Go ahead.
All right, well, I'll just say, and then so I don't know if we're remembering it the other way that I remember ET phone home, because shortly thereafter, Drew Barrymore says it the way I remember.
There we go. No. And if you so I played the whole clip. We did. I was freaked out. We did this the other day, and I had to sit down because I had that Occam's razor Mandela deal happening, and then all of a sudden, we played the actual full clip. And after he learns how to say it from Drew, the fire starter, he says it the correct way. So originally is home phone, and then later on, a few minutes later, is phone home. And thank goodness we found that because I was going to lose it for a second.
What else do we got? The last little parts here. Oh, yeah. You remember that big giant cartel bust they did down in Mexico, and they blew up and dismantled like 6 large meth operations down there. And then those 2 FBI agents that were down there doing the counterterrorism thing died in that fiery car crash off the side of the mountain with the head of their drug enforcement agency for Mexico. Well, this just happened too. Anybody want to take a crack at this?
Sure. Yeah, I think you brought that story, like, I think it was just last week, wasn't it?
Yep,
breaking,
last week.
The U.S. just charged the governor of Sinaloa, Ruben Rocha Moya, plus 9 other current and former Mexican officials with drug trafficking, weapons offenses tied directly to the Sinaloa cartel. They allegedly partner with cartel leaders to flood the U.S. with narcotics. Big surprise. In exchange for bribes and political protection. This is state-level cartel capture in Mexico's biggest drug-producing region. Life in prison on the table and extradition likely coming. Boom.
So this is a big dude. This is like taking down like Gavin Newsom, that level of person in Mexico itself. So they took him down, the entire government, because they were making fentanyl and allowing the cartels to do whatever they want. They were getting paid. I think I got a breakdown on it right here. I hate the Post guy, but what is he saying? DOJ unsealed the indictment in New York. So they're asking for him to be extradited. The same court that burned El Chapo. His deputy attorney general was taking $1,100 a month from the bribes of the cartels. His police commander who kidnapped and murdered the DEA source was indicted, and his entire cabinet was basically destroyed. So, yeah, bad dudes are going on. Well, that's going on over here in California. Cartel kingpin Don Dario was busted living secret life in California with a $10 million bounty on there. They also hit 2 big giant drug operations in Irvine, California, and down in San Diego, where they're raiding multi-million-dollar mansions and shit, and taking assets and all that, cars, the whole thing, for all drugs and cartel stuff, dude. So it's been going crazy the last couple of weeks. So it might have taken a little time to get some of these big cases as they start going through and taking these things down. But remember when El Chapo was arrested, and then his son came over with the deal with the other 18 other family members? And the judge, or sorry, the lawyer for the family is like, it has nothing to do with anything to do with government cooperation. But they were all taken into federal custody and given some sort of deal. So, yeah, interesting things happening. So Scheinbaum down there in Mexico, the Jewish president, is like, I need irrefutable evidence, is what she's saying.
Well, we'll see. We'll see once we give it to her what she says.
What else I got? I got a couple of things on Elon Musk, and we're going to be done here. You want to take a crack at this?
Oh, yeah, I'm interested in this. Here's a rough summary of Elon Musk's 1 hour and 40-minute long testimony today during the OpenAI trial. He will resume his testimony tomorrow. Argues the case has huge implications. Quote, it is not okay to steal a charity. Okay. If the defendants are found guilty, this case will become case law. It'll give license to looting every charity in America. The consequences of this case go far beyond me or everyone here. The entire foundation of charitable giving in America will be destroyed. Says OpenAI was founded as a nonprofit, open source counterweight to Google, focused on AI safety. Claims the shift to a for-profit structure violated that mission. Says his AI concerns date back to conversations with Larry Page, who he felt wasn't taking AI risks seriously. Elon says he's tried to warn Obama about AI, but that Obama felt AI was not good enough back then to seem scary smart. Quote, here we are in 2026. AI is very smart. Believes AI could surpass human intelligence as soon as next year and possesses existential risk in the hands of the wrong people. Quote, if you have someone who's not very trustworthy in charge of AI, that's very dangerous for the whole world. Elon framed his companies, SpaceX, Neuralink, XAI, as part of a broader mission to protect humanity's future. emphasized OpenAI's original goal, AI for the good of humanity, not profit-driven control. Elon's main argument is that AI abandoned its founding principles and that precedent could reshape both AI governance and charitable trust. Larry Page refused to speak to Elon Musk again after Elon recruited Ilya Sutskever to join OpenAI. Elon viewed Ilya as the number one most valuable member at Google. Elon thought in the early days OpenAI's corporate structure would be a nonprofit funded initially with donations, but there could potentially be a parallel for-profit that is owned by the nonprofit and funds the nonprofit. Quote, we, Sam Altman and Elon, were in agreement that OpenAI would be a 501c3 charity. Elon was not supposed to be there. Elon was not opposed, there we go, to there being a small for-profit that provided funding to the nonprofit, as long as the, quote, tail didn't wag the dog. Elon, quote, there are very few people who understand venture capital in Silicon Valley like I do. Boom.
So if everybody remembers when he was talking about that if they got to general relative intelligence with OpenAI, then they would release it to the public for free is what their plan was. Well, that all got changed up, and then he started making deals with Microsoft and the rest of the group out there to start making money on the product itself. That's when they stepped outside their boxes, what they're saying there at that point. And they pushed him out of the company, and then he tried to actually turn around and buy the company because he says, I actually bought it. So the day before this thing was going to actually go through, OpenAI had to change their corporate structure a little bit and then pull the general AI clause out, saying that they don't have it, even though we all know that they do. They pulled it out and said that we don't have it, because if they say they do have it, then it goes back to the nonprofit and can't be used for profit. That is what Elon Musk is arguing with, and it seems like the courtroom is siding with what Elon is saying, even though the judge has told Elon that you're not a lawyer or anything like that, because the opposing lawyer was basically misleading him and he was calling him out for his shit out there. It's like me asking you, when did you stop raping your wife or beating your wife? Because either answers a yes or no is still going to be bad. And that's when the judge says, we're not going to get into this. So it seems like Elon's on the right page and laying out his thought process. And it's probably going to go back to being free to the public, basically, because it's supposed to betterment of humanity is what the original mission was. If they reached general intelligence with AI. So that's that whole thing there.
Will they give it up, though, you think? You think they're going to give the real goods to us schmendricks out there?
Well, the real question is what the court's going to rule on, because this turning this nonprofit, because this is what he said in the beginning. It'll give a license for looting every charity in America if you rule that way, that they can't do this in this nonprofit way, and it was never supposed to be arranged like that. The other thing on this is you got to remember the whole Delaware business stuff that he was doing to get the payout for the stock that he finally got paid on. That was like $1 trillion. You guys heard about that payout that he got? $1 trillion payout?
Oh, yeah. Supposed to be for the... Yep, he ended up winning that thing because they were trying to fight that as well.
So now he has another target that he has to get to hit his next payout.
Ooh, interesting.
Bayshot, would you like to read this?
Yeah, actually, let me read this really quick. I just got a Rumble rant, but I wanted to thank Truth Seekers TV. I just checked out their channel, so they're here on Rumble as well. I dropped the $5 Rumble rant. It says, awesome show, guys, coming in from Australia, AU. It's a shit show. It's a shit show down here. Glad to be part of the group, side by side with our American brothers and sisters. Would love to chat with you on our podcast. And, I was saying we need to get some younger folks into our movement. So I would definitely love to
that'd be cool.
Connect with them as well. But, so definitely see if we can't connect later on there. Sawyer Merritt here. Oh, wait, we just did that
No, this one.
All right, I thought you switched over. But thank you there, Truth. There again. Truth Seekers TV. I'm following over there. I'll drop your links in the chat. Kobisi Letter says, this is incredible. Elon Musk will receive $200 million super voting shares in SpaceX only if the company establishes a permanent Mars colony with at least 1 million people. In other words, Elon Musk will only receive this pay package if 1 million people live on Mars. In other words, Elon Musk's biggest goal now is establishing a colony on Mars with a similar population as Dallas, Texas. Musk is so optimistic about this goal that the vast majority of his pay is now contingent on it. Life on Mars is closer than many expect. Bullshit. Excuse me. That's $200 million, dude? That's the bonus?
No, 200 million super shares at the
okay.
price of what SpaceX is, which is the your top tier for voting, what the company's going to do. So it's a lot.
Wow. Okay, yeah, that's a little bit bigger. I was like $200 million to him ain't worth picking up off the ground. But yeah, that's worth it. Wow.
Okay, last clip, and it's a little bit of reading. I'm going to do a little bit of reading on this. I thought this is extremely interesting.
Oh, I don't mind leading. Oh, God, yeah, and I remember this too. Charles Lieber, who was convicted of lying to U.S. authorities about payments from China while he was at Harvard University, has rebuilt his research lab in Shenzhen to pursue technology the Chinese government has identified as a national priority, embedding electronics into the human brain. Lieber is among the world's leading researchers in brain-computer interfaces. The technology has shown promise in treating conditions such as ALS and restoring movement in paralyzed patients, but it also has potential military applications. Scientists at Chinese PLA have investigated brain interferences as a way to engineer super soldiers by boosting mental agility and situational awareness. Lieber was found guilty by a jury and convicted in December of 21 of making false statements to federal investigators about his ties to a Chinese state program to recruit overseas talent and tax offenses related to payments he received from a Chinese university. He served 2 days in prison and 6 months under house arrest and was fined $50,000 and ordered to pay $33,600 in restitution to the IRS. During the case, his defense said he was suffering from an incurable lymphoma, which was in remission, and he was fighting for his life. 3 years after he was sentenced, Lieber is now overseeing China's state-funded iBrain, or the Institute for Brain Research, advanced interfaces in neurotechnologies with access to dedicated nanofabrication equipment and primate research infrastructure unavailable to him at Harvard. The lab is an arm of the Shenzhen Medical Academy of Research and Translation, or SMART. Lieber, quote, I arrived in April 28, 2025 with a dream and not much more. Maybe a couple bags of clothes. Personally, my own goals are to make Shenzhen a world leader. SMART last year appointed Lieber as an investigator. According to a post on iBrain, that news was covered by some media outlets. Same day, iBrain said Lieber had also been appointed as its founding director, an announcement that went unreported at the time. Lieber's lab has access to dedicated primary research facilities and chip-making equipment that sits within a sprawling ecosystem of state-backed institutions bankrolled by billions of dollars in government funding, and that is housed within an institution that is luring top scientific talent back from the United States. Lieber's ability to reconstitute his laboratory after a federal criminal conviction for lying about his ties to China shows how U.S. safeguards on technology with potential military uses have not kept pace with Chinese government efforts to acquire it. That concern is amplified because of Beijing's military-civil fusion strategy, whereby civilian scientific resources and research are shared with the military. Quote, China has weaponized against us our own openness and our own efforts for innovation. They've flipped that and turned it around against us, and they're taking advantage of it. Primate research.
Yep, that's all I got, folks. That's my last little clip out there.
Damn. Well,
that was it.
You didn't want to talk about President Trump's post, how he called himself the president for 3 terms today?
Yeah, you got that. We could talk about that. You got that click?
I can drop it. Let me drop it down the
So
bottom.
lots of crap happening this week, guys. Lots of interesting things.
Yeah, very. All right, here you go.
So much that it's almost hard to cover. And that's why we have to have longer shows, more shows, everything happening at once. And this is, a precipice for America, if you will. We got, a little bit left before midterms, and then we have 2028. And I got to tell you, Patriots, I'm excited to have the Diamonds return. But again, boss has to retire. He has to, have some time with Melania on the beach and whatnot. So there are plans for after Trump come 2028. But this is MAGA. So enjoy every moment of it. This is a once in a lifetime Opportunity.
I love this post, dude. 1:50 p.m. today. President Trump. Anybody running for president or vice president should be forced to take a cognitive examination prior to entering the race. By doing so, we wouldn't be surprised at people like Barack Hussein Obama or Sleepy Joe Biden getting, quote, elected. Our country would be a much better place. I took the exam 3 times during my, and then in parentheses and quotes, 3, in all caps, terms as president, and aced it all 3 times. An achievement that, even on a single exam, according to the doctors, has really been done before President Donald J. Trump. I mean, dude, how many more times has he got to tell us? You know, I don't want to take the credit for that second one.
And dude, real funny, like the 333, he mentions 333 3 times, drop 333, December 11th of 2017, for God and country, freedom. How amazing is that? I love it. Boss coming through.
Yeah, I think this reinforces what Tulsi Gabbard and the rest of the guys got on the election stuff that's going to come out here shortly that John Solomon's been talking about for like 2 months. I think that that's what this is talking about, that it's going to finally enforce that he actually did win 3 times, even though he didn't get to serve in one of them. He took him off the field itself. So that's going to be interesting if they could bring that forward with Tillis and the rest of the group trying to push the SAVE Act and voting ID and see if that will strengthen any of that. We'll see. They got a lot to us to show. They've been talking about how great this baby is. I need to see the baby. Show me the baby.
You need to be patient.
You gotta let the cake cook. You gotta let it rise.
Yeah, you gotta let that bake in the oven a little bit, a little spicy.
We're at 18 months, baby.
8 years of foreplay is worth it. Eyes on the prize, baby. Let's go.
So
we're building a dynasty. We're not going in for a quickie. We're not LeBron James, baby. We're Michael Jordan.
Oh, did you see that that thing on the DOJ? I forgot to throw it in the show last week, but they have requested to bring back firing squads out of the DOJ.
That's right. Bring back that hemp, too. We're going to need all kinds of ammunition as they are losing ammunition. And, dude, pay-per-view. We can kill the national debt, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, with a little bit of that, right? Treason, sedition. Let's go into the law books and find out what we have available. Oh, firing squad. All right. We're down. I'm down. I don't know about you guys.
I'd watch it.
Cool.
Dude, I've been saying
get all Hillary out there standing next to Dr. Fauci. Let's go to town.
Maybe a little fishing, little treasonous action. That'll be fun, dude.
Just imagine, to Tron's point about paying back the national debt, right? You get Hillary in front of you, right? You know, like you get those little elastics and the little papers you used to do in high school. You pull them back and slam it, right? For like $1, you can do something like that, right? And then for like, you know, like a couple $100, you get to do something more damaging, right? And then the more you pay, the more damage you get to do.
I don't know about that. That's a little bit too much there, Space Shot. That's like, you know, waterboarding. Yeah, that's like going into Fantastic Sam's, getting a haircut and a shampoo, and they accidentally waterboard you, dude. I had that happen last time. I went for a shampoo, and I don't know what she was doing, but she spray painted get my face, and I was waterboarded, bro. In a Fantastic Sam's, $18 waterboard and a haircut.
Well, that's your first problem.
The water. Well, come on. I don't go to a barber. I don't trust people with sharp knives, and I don't know, dude.
My son won't let me take him to one of those Fantastic Sam's or one of those other places.
I like the Vidal Sassoon, bro. If we don't look good, they don't look good, right?
If they don't look good, we don't look good.
And then I sat her down. I said, "You want a tip?" I sat her down and gave her a waterboard. I'm just kidding. I didn't do that.
All right. Good day, Sailor. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate that. I'm going to pass the message along there. And guys, do me a favor on all the platforms. If you guys are enjoying your time, it only helps us out if you do click that thumb up. Smash it. We got 373 and 3 jerk-offs clicked down for some reason. Some people are having a bad day. I mean, who comes over just to thumbs down I mean, who does that? Anyway.
Yeah, if you guys got a chance, get out there to each one of our feeds, Tron, Space Shot, on Hulkeneer's feed, and get out there and give a little treat, a little comment down in the video. If you're on the repeat side, another comment in the bottom of the video. If you're in the live chat away. We'd love to see you. Go visit the Twitter feeds out there. Give us a little like, a little subscribe.
Hello, y'all. I'm saying hello to Hulks folks now. Everybody just mixing around. Say hello. Bing, bing.
And the great Pilled group out there. Thank you guys for all hanging out there. We appreciate you guys. The longest running archive of Table of Titans show is on Pilled only. Next by the Table of Titans archive channel, if anybody's looking for any of that stuff.
That's it. And you're on Table of Titans on Foxhole, right?
Yes, on the Foxhole itself.
Table of Titans.
Just to throw that. No, it's just for that show. It's pretty much the only thing I put over there, so it rocks. I should release a scratch off so you guys can all play with those things itself. Might as well do that now. Because we should do our thank yous and get out the door and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. But you got to do your thank yous and whatnot. And
I can hit mine right now. Norwegian Wood gifted the phone. Woohoo! Get the party started.
Let's see if I can't do a commercial while he's reading my things over there. I got to do this kids guide. All right, parents, real talk for just a second. America's about to hit a huge milestone. Coming up on America's 250th birthday, 250 years of freedom, grit, sacrifice, and the greatest experiment in self-government the world has ever seen. This is the perfect moment to help your kids understand why this country matters. It's not just about fireworks and hot dogs, but the real story behind it all. There's a free guide called The Kid's Guide to America's 250th Birthday, and it's honestly a great way to let kids know about how America began, who the founding fathers were, what they risked, and why the ideas they fought for still matter today. This guide sends kids back to the moment when brave men signed the Declaration of Independence, knowing full well they were risking their lives for freedom. It breaks it down in a way kids can actually understand and enjoy without watering it down or turning it into boring schoolwork. And if you care about raising kids who know where the country came from and why it's worth preserving, this is something you'll want to grab. The best part, it's completely free with this special offer. Only need to pay $2 for shipping and handling. Head over to freeusabirthday.com. That's freeusabirthday.com. And the Kids Guide to America's 250th Birthday for your kids today. America's story matters. Make sure your next generation knows it. Boom. All right, let's see if they're still talking over here.
Unless he's all talking by himself.
Yeah, he's talking on his
Whoa,
own.
what are you talking about? I'm right here. What do you mean?
Oh, there he is.
I wasn't doing
He's
a Kids
wearing
Guide.
White Castle.
I wasn't doing a Kids Guide commercial, I swear.
Oh, that's a nice one. Me and Hulk don't get those ones on Thursdays.
Did you guys see the Epstein list? There's one called the Epstein.
Yeah, I read that one. It's hilarious.
What is
People
it?
on Rumble are advertising on Rumble. So if anyone has a show on Rumble that doesn't get a lot of hits, apparently you can advertise through Rumble Creator Program. That's wild.
Sleazy
I
P.
guess it
Martini,
works, right?
Casino owner Adonis Paul for the trivia experience you don't watch, you play in live chat. Yeah, these people are promoting
it's a
their
show
shows
on Rumble.
there.
They advertise their own show, dude. I mean, what's I don't know.
Yeah, I think the other one was for Alpha Warrior. I think that other one that I read was. It might have been because it said Alpha something. Interesting. Well, it's cool to know that we can get involved in there. Yeah, this one says Fall of Minneapolis by Alpha News. George Floyd story.
Leasley.
Yep. Their own channels. Very interesting. But yes.
What am I reading over at Pilled?
Huh? Did you read your thank yous?
Yeah, I did my thank yous, but they're saying, Deborah Lord, please read Danette Booth's comment.
Danette Booth's comment. Let me see if I can't find it. Oh, new sticker from the channel? I think it's pinned comment from Ron L. White.
Yeah, I don't have
How
any.
do we find that?
I don't have any stickers.
Hey, Ron, drop it again so we can add it to the archive.
Did Hulk read my, everybody in the chat,
Yes.
did Hulk read my comment correctly?
Yes.
I'm going to go back and check.
Yeah, I preface it with something. So yeah, go back and check.
I figured. He should have said Space Shot's my hero. Supposed to have, anyway. But yeah, I think I got all my thank yous. And, you know, we always can't ever forget to thank the mods who help ourselves and many others out there. Selfless work that we do appreciate greatly. And of course, always a big hat tip to Country and the folks over there at Liberty Based News, formerly the Patriot News Crew, where all of us met just over 8 years ago and started doing this whole shindig on the phone with, remember the walkie-talkie buttons, guys? We had the buttons, and even though we held it for extra long, it would still cut off the last word we say. All right, I'm going to hold an extra 3 seconds. Still would cut off the last word. And it's been a hell of a ride since then, guys. So I'm good on my side, Hulk. You got to thank anybody else or anything else you need to do on the way out of here?
Nope, that's it for me, guys. I just want to say thank you for everybody always getting involved over on the Pilled side. I found the Never Give Up post out there, little meme out there, so I put that into the favorites. I think that's what you guys are asking. The scratchings have already been released. Make sure you leave in comments, thumbs up, go visit the Twitter, pick up that digital girlfriend, boyfriend, and go do your twiddle thumbs out there and go press some buttons out there. And we will continue the rest of the saga Saturday morning, the Hulk and Space Shot, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. for B, because I got to get up at 9 and put the show together, because I used all my show stuff for today. We went through every slide. We went through all 89 something, probably 90 posts or whatever. So Space Shot's going to have Saturday show's information put together for everybody. Should be very riveting because he gets up early and he put it all together, and I'll have some funnies for you.
You heard it. I'm running the show. I'm picking the song. I'm driving the ship this week. Yes, baby. Cannot wait.
Yeah, ban you from the internet first.
And guys, real quick, when you repost my shows, I'm going to add you to a wheel that we're going to spin on Sunday for a chance to win awesome weatherproof and waterproof decals from stickermule.com/Tron. Hit the repost and get some stickers. It's going to be good.
Awesome. And like Space Shot always says,
we do appreciate each and every one of you wonderful world patriots for tuning in out there. And until that next one, thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Peace.
Much love. Be good humans.
Something special is happening in here. That's right, it's brackets and jackets, bringing it back for brackets and jackets. Special Epstein Island edition. That's right, folks. Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, the man with the island, which is suspiciously close to Haiti. That's right. You see, this man, Jeffrey Epstein, is funding lots of people. He's funding lots of people on the street to make sure his shit doesn't get out. That's right. They want the record sealed. And they're paying a lot of people. Epstein's paying a lot of people. Oh, boy. For one, he's got a whole Mossad media matrix in America. And I would bet you anything that Alex Jones is one of them. Prove me wrong. That's right. Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the building with songs about Epstein. It's Breakfast Jacket's Epstein edition. Guys, I had some epiphanies today. I had some real big epiphanies about some guys. A big network of guys and spies and lies and liars. All right, think about this for a minute, okay? The guy in Portland, the scientist that just got busted for producing CP, that guy is 1 degree of separation away from Epstein. Epstein, the investor that lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. I know a guy who lives in West Palm Beach, Florida as well. Investor as well. Also involved as well. And all is not well with these guys. The Florida boys, the Glow boys, the Scott Israels of the world. You see, Epstein is Hillary Clinton. And Epstein is Haiti. And Epstein is a big network of media assets. By the way, did you know that Steve Bannon was going to that guy for money? Also, Epstein is Epstein Oprah. Epstein is Chris Tucker. You remember him. Epstein is also Kevin Spacey. Epstein is also Prince Andrew. Epstein is also... Who else is Epstein? Who else is Epstein? Tell me. You guys know? Who else is Epstein? Is Epstein Big Pharma? Is Epstein Bryan Singer? Is Epstein Naomi Campbell? Yep. All of the above. All of the above. Who is Epstein? Epstein is the keystone of a whole motherfucking matrix. And once you pull it out, it all falls down. Dersh was there too. That's right, we're dropping red pills every day. And red pills in the best kind of way. This is brackets and jackets for the denizens of islands.